What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. Pirates Ninja Anglers Game 1 AG, Chapter 1 The Fisherman Who Knows Ninjutsu. Brain. Give me brain. I'm hungry, I want to eat brain. The author has no brains, so I don't know if I can pick up a few here. East China Sea. The sea breeze blows gently and the blue waves ripple. At this time, a young man woke up in the middle of a certain island. This man was our protagonist Kang. He slowly opened his eyes and looked around. He was filled with green and blue intertwined. He was confused by the unfamiliar sight. Am I dead? Kang clearly remembers being hit by a car while rescuing his child. Is this heaven? This is both heaven and not paradise, maybe it is a fisherman's paradise. Suddenly, a voice suddenly appeared in Kang's heart. What the hell? I am the heaven system. What you did before your death caught my attention, so I transported you to this world. Close black lens bracket. System. Traveled through time. Haven't you fantasized about this kind of thing countless times? Close black lens bracket. Kang didn't expect that 1 second before he died, he was still complaining about whether this way of death could travel through time, but the next second he actually traveled through time. The novel is truly honest. What world is this? Open black lens bracket. This is the world of One Piece. The protagonist is Monkey D. Luffy. Close black lens bracket. One Piece Luffy's world. Kang did not expect to come to the world he had imagined. This is not unacceptable at all. Anyway, the character is an orphan and a social animal. Now there is another system added to it. Isn't this directly invincible to other worlds? Well, without further ado, since it's my plugin, let's talk about your abilities. This system is omnipotent, but it doesn't belong to you, so don't think too fancy. Close black lens bracket. Your system is quite unique. Wait, what did you say? It doesn't belong to me. You brought me here and want to just pat your butt and leave. Don't worry, this paradise system will randomly select 3 abilities related to your hobbies, and integrate them with each other to meet your needs for survival in the pirate world. Close black lens bracket. 3 abilities. That's it. This system still has a lot of things to do, and I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Do you want it? Close black lens bracket. What ability? I said it's related to your hobbies. Random integration. Including your coming to this world is also random. Are you G listening? Close black lens bracket. Kang. Talking about this system can make people mad. Open it. Start extracting abilities. Open black lens bracket gold. Golden legend. Close black lens bracket. 3 cards were drawn from his mind. In an instant, golden light overflowed, almost blinding Kang's eyes, and he even wondered if this extraction function was just a formality. Congratulations on getting the profession, fishing guy. You get the accompanying Supreme Quick Rod. Multifunctional version of the Supreme Fast Pole, Special Energy Converter. It can be retracted and retracted freely. It will never wear out. You can take it out for enjoyment anytime and anywhere, don't lose it. Congratulations on obtaining the ability template of the Hokage ninja, Uchiha Itachi. His eyes are filled with eternal black flames, Amaterasu. That man is here. P.S. Don't say you are from Wano country, it's embarrassing. Congratulations on getting an unknown Pokémon. It's reasonable for the heaven system to give you a Pokémon, right? Ability acquisition completed, resource integration in progress. Open black lens bracket integration completed, close black lens bracket. The angler profession can improve physical fitness through fishing training with the Supreme Quick Rod. Close black lens bracket. This is your only way to practice. The limiter has been lifted. Just keep fishing every day. There is no upper limit to your growth. By the way, a certain bald-caped man was also arranged by me. You have all the ninjutsu and blood inheritance limits that Uchiha Itachi has mastered. The initial template is 10% of Itachi's complete body ability, which is equivalent to a young Itachi, an ordinary chunin. Close black lens bracket. There is also no limiter. The training method has been magically modified, and you can control it perfectly if your physical fitness reaches the standard. In order to prevent you from being too ambitious, some of your ninjutsu memories will be sealed, and they will be released after your physical fitness reaches the standard, so hurry up and start your let's practice. Congratulations on getting the psychic beast and Pokémon, Dark Crow. Dark Crow produces 10 special baits every day. Use the Supreme Big Rod and special baits to catch magical fish in the sea, and increase your training speed. Increase your favorability to get more baits. Hurry up, make good relations with Murkrow. Kang held a black Madara dotted egg in his left hand and a multifunctional fishing rod that was retractable like an antenna in his right hand. At the same time, his body felt dizzy. Resource integration completed. Farewell travelers. Close black lens bracket. Boom. After saying that, the heaven system exploded, as if it didn't want to wait for a second longer. Then Kang was left with a confused look on his face, and he still had an ability that he didn't know how to complain about but seemed to be very powerful. Is this going to explode? What the hell is this? Others train me to fish. There's not even an introduction. What's going on? What should the Air Force do? No matter how Kang complained, there was no response in his heart. Kang looked at the sky, holding back the non-existent tears, and said in a trembling voice. I will cherish what you leave in my body. Kong felt the amount of chakra in his body, and then checked the extra ninjutsu in his brain. Suddenly the egg in my hand began to shake, and it looked like the baby in my hand was about to break. Ding, 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 ding. Kong made the sound of Pokémon hatching eggs in his memory. He didn't want to, he just couldn't help it. As the eggshell cracks, dum, a crow-like creature appeared, with the feathers on its head shaped like a wizard's hat and its tail shaped like a broom. This is the image of Dark Crow in Pokémon. This guy was born with a big head and seemed to be very spiritual. Don't ask why Kong knows. The question is that it is standing on Kang's head, stepping on Kang's head with a look of disgust. Please give me some advice, Dark Crow. I will be your trainer. Use wings to attack. Dumb. Dark Crow had no reaction. I don't understand. Why don't you make some gestures? Kong couldn't understand, but he didn't forget the prompts from the heaven system and wanted to have a good relationship with it. Dumb. Okay, I understand. Let's go fishing first. Dumb. Okay, I'll take you to find the female crow later. Kong couldn't tell the difference between the call of the Dark Crow, nor could he tell whether it was male or female, so he could only deal with it casually. Where's my special bait for today? Give it to me. Dumb. Okay, I got it. Kong was helpless. It felt like a chicken talking to a duck. Communication was difficult. Kong was walking casually while interacting with Dark Crow, preparing to go fishing at the beach. He came to the shore as if nothing had happened and threw the fishing rod skillfully. After throwing the supreme large pole, Kong fell into concentration like an old monk. His own training began. Without noticing at all, there was a ship parked on the shore of the island with a swan head and a pirate flag that was a combination of a skull and a heart. Who are you? How come you are on the island? Kong came back to his senses, looked at the surrounding pirates who were confused, and said. I said I came here to fish, do you believe it? Kang's words were met with swords from the pirates. A pirate looked at Kong with a teasing smile. Fishing our territory. You look so much like a certain guy. From now on, you can be a slave with that guy. Chapter 2 One Piece Luffy. At this time, Kang's fishing rod suddenly shook, which made him very excited. A fisherman will never fly in the Air Force. However, this scene made the pirate next to him a little unhappy. Hey, you are a slave now. Why are you still fishing? Kong turned a deaf ear and closed his pole handsomely. Grass. It's actually a waterweed. Kong looked at the items he had caught, his face as ugly as if he had eaten a devil fruit. Supreme Quick Rod. How come such a domineering name sounds so useless? It can't be a problem with my fishing skills. The problem must be in this sea area. Kong thought. Fishing can slowly increase his physical fitness. After catching something while fishing, his physical fitness will directly improve a little bit. This cultivation method is really weird. How to make special bait. Kong captured the Dark Crow, and each man and the crow looked at each other. Mercrow pointed to his mouth this time. Is your throat uncomfortable? No wonder you scream hoarsely. Dumb. Kong released the Dark Crow and continued to throw the pole. At this time, a pirate couldn't stand it anymore. What about you, boy? Are you looking for death? I gave you a chance to live. If Captain Arvida finds out, you will be dead. The pirates twitched their mouths fiercely and looked at Kong with some admiration. You have to fish even if you die. When Kong heard the familiar name, he came back to his senses instantly, put away the fishing rod, and seemed to be reminiscing. Alita, could it be? At this time, it looks like I survived. A clear voice suddenly appeared in the cabin next to it. This small sound attracted Kang's attention. Is it him? This is where the dream begins. Kong quickly rushed towards the direction of the sound. He didn't care. Hey, boy, don't run. The pirates gave chase. Kong suddenly teleported away from the pirates and appeared on the deck. One of Ninja Basics ninjutsu. Instantaneous technique. By condensing chakra to activate the body, chakra is gathered under the feet to achieve the effect of rapid displacement. It's so fast that people can't see it, so it seems to move instantaneously, and the effect is very similar to shaving. Kong already has the template of Uchiha Itachi, the thief used by ninjutsu, but there is a limit on the amount of chakra, so it still cannot be displaced for a long time. It's just that Kong was too excited. At this time, a boy emerged from the barrel in the storage room. He wore a straw hat, a red vest, blue denim shorts, a pair of slippers on his feet, and a trademark smile on his face. My name is Monkey D. Luffy, and I am the man who wants to become One Piece. As soon as these words came out, there was a strange embarrassment inside and outside the storage room. After a while, where does this lunatic come from and wants to be One Piece? If you were One Piece, first would be Marine Fleet Admiral, After a short silence, the onlookers all laughed in unison, as if they had heard some big joke. At the end of the laugh, he even held his stomach and beat the floor crazily. Seeing the reactions of the people around him, Luffy didn't have any expression. He held up his straw hat. He didn't deserve an explanation for this guy who casually laughed at other people's dreams. Excuse me, are you going to the Grand Line to find the One Piece left by Roger? At this moment, a cautious voice sounded. That's right. Luffy nodded and smiled. Do not make jokes. The Grand Line is called the Pirates' Graveyard. One Piece is what pirates all over the world are looking for. You can't do this. You will definitely die. Koby quickly denied Luffy and asked him to return to reality, but Luffy quickly scolded him. Shut up. Stop talking. I'm not afraid of death. What's the difference between having no dreams and being a salted fish? Luffy punched Koby, raised his hands, and shouted with a serious look. I want to be a One Piece man, and I will be One Piece even if I die. Even if I have to sacrifice my life, I will be. Luffy's voice was sonorous and powerful, louder and louder than the last, causing Koby, who was excited just now, to freeze on the spot. Koby looked at Luffy's confident look and couldn't help but slump to the ground. He wiped his tears and murmured. If I am not afraid of death, then can I also realize my dream? Can someone like me become a righteous Marine? Mr. Luffy. Although I will become your enemy, joining Marine has been my dream since childhood. I'm going to catch all the bad guys, including Miss Arvida. Koby asked Luffy with tears on his face, as if he wanted to seek his approval. Luffy's reaction to Kirby's emotional expression of his dream was. Who knows? Kirby's sad face _ Isn't it just against you? So indifferent. Luffy tilted his head, then grinned brightly. I believe you will succeed, ha ha ha. As the Sea of Dreams, the East China Sea, everyone's dreams deserve recognition. But at this moment, the annoying voice sounded again. Hey, I can't pretend I didn't hear this. Kirby actually wants to be a Marine. Are you as crazy as that Straw Hat Kid? Kirby, are you going to betray the captain? The pirates pulled out the sabers from their waists and walked towards the two of them step by step. You will die here today. Just when they were raising their swords to chop, Luffy was about to take action. One Piece. This is indeed where dreams begin. I believe in you, Luffy. Dumb. Two voices, one person and one crow, sounded in the room, interrupting the tense atmosphere. The onlookers looked towards the direction of the sound. A guy with a fishing rod appeared at the door, with an excited expression on his face. The pirates were stunned for a moment. Why is there another madman? This man has a funny black crow on his head. He doesn't look like a serious person. This is a group of fools. Take action quickly, otherwise the captain will not feel comfortable even if he comes. A long-haired pirate raised his sword to attack Kong, but Kong did not move a step. Hey, be careful, Luffy shouted. Luffy had a good impression of guys who were sure of him. Just when the machete hit Kong. Boom. A piece of wood took Kang's place. Nani. The pirates' eyes are about to pop out. This is one of the ninjutsu mastered by Chicken. Substitution. To activate the substitute technique, you first need to know that the opponent is launching an offensive, and secondly, you need to react before the offensive is launched. Finally, you need to replace your own position with a nearby object to confuse the opponent. In short, this move is used to bully those who are weaker than you. If you can use the substitute technique to avoid yakai, this is not an E-level ninjutsu. Kong appeared from the corner of the storage room with pretentious words. With this kind of attack, if you want to hit me, you still have 100 years to go. Pretend to be a ghost. Go to hell. Soon, the nearest pirate slashed at Kong again. This attack passed through Kang's body. Then this, Kong, instantly turned into smoke and disappeared. What's going on? What the hell? The long-haired pirate was sweating on his forehead, with fear of the unknown on his face. I told you, this kind of attack is useless. At this time, another Kong appeared from the corner. He just used the basic ninjutsu clone technique, and what was hit was just a phantom. He coughed twice and began to introduce himself. Ahem. Let me at least introduce myself first. I am Cool D. Kong. I am a fishing guy who loves peace and likes to talk sense. Of course, if someone doesn't understand the truth, I also know a little bit about ninjutsu. Quote. Dumb. Dark Crow also interjected, showing his presence. Seeing Kong finish his performance, Luffy's arms stretched strangely and his body bounced towards Kong. A magician. A monster. What happened today? The long-haired pirate trembled when he saw this scene. This. Ghost. There is a ghost. Mom, I will never be a pirate again. He yelled and ran out of the door. Go find Captain Arvida. At this time, the other pirates were also frightened by the abilities displayed by the two. Chapter 3 Arvida. Two little stars appeared in Luffy's eyes. He kept shaking Kong. Ninjutsu. So awesome. Be my crew member. Kong. Luffy grabbed Kang's shoulder, as if he wouldn't let go until he agreed. Kong smiled knowingly. This is my dream, Luffy. Kong nodded wildly. That's what I've been waiting for, Captain. I'm a fisherman. My dream now is to catch all the rare fish in the world. From now on, I'll be responsible for the fishing on the boat. Luffy. Hey, aren't you a ninja? Kong. I'm a fisherman, I just know a little bit about ninjutsu. Luffy waved his hands with a look of disgust on his face. But I want a ninja, not a fisherman. Kong was silent for a while, thought for a while, and said with difficulty, now I am a ninja who knows a little about fishing. Please give me more advice. In the end, Kong chose to change his name to communicate with Luffy. After all, people like Luffy must be smoothed down. Luffy laughed loudly after hearing this. Ninja, that's great. Kong, you are my first crew member. There are ninjas on my ship. The two of them were having fun with each other. At this time, a rough black shadow appeared at the door. Arvida carried her signature mace and looked back and forth between the two of them. You two are the bounty hunters who came to kill me. I thought you were Roronoa Zoro. Seeing the appearance of Luffy and Kang, Arvida couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when she discovered that neither of them had green algae hair. You actually came to the boat of the most beautiful woman on the sea. Do you think Iron Rod Arvida, I'm a vegetarian? Arvida then pointed at Koby and threatened. Koby, tell them who is the most beautiful woman in this sea. This is Arida's mantra. Because she is ugly, she has low self-esteem and seeks approval from others. Yes, it's Captain Arvida. Keby's expression turned serious, and without thinking, Kaido threw the dream oath he had just made out of his mind. Luffy next to him was picking his nose and asked nonchalantly. Keby, who is this savage ant? Luffy's words succeeded in making everyone's jaws drop. Take back what you said. Luffy, she is the best in this sea area. Keby grabbed Luffy and hesitated to speak. Suddenly, Luffy's oath for his dream reappeared in Keby's mind, directly breaking through his cowardice. The most savage and hateful ant. The ugliest old woman. Keby had tears in his eyes and made great determination to speak out. At this time, Arida's veins popped out, her anger reached the extreme but she was still calm. You are all looking for death. So, what about you? That guy with the bird on his head, am I the most beautiful woman in the world? Arvida looked at Kang. At this time, Kang was vomiting at the window. He saw the real Arvida for the first time, and he got a little excited just by looking at her. No wonder Arvida is so strong, her appearance can make people lose their fighting ability. Kang said without looking back. Miss Arvida is one of the few beauties in the world. If possible, I would like. Vomit. In short, you are the most beautiful goddess in my mind. Arvida swung her mace, and a big hole appeared in the deck. She shouted. I am very satisfied with the answer. But you have to take a look at me before speaking. No, next time. Definitely next time. Kang shook his head and denied repeatedly. Alita turned into a shark mouth. You really lied to me. You don't even dare to look at me. Look back. You be *********D. Kang trembled all over, trying to get rid of the image in his mind, but the image kept appearing. Ha ha, good, very good. Arvida suddenly burst into laughter. You all go to hell. Arida's voice was low. In her eyes, the three guys who mocked her were going to hell to repent. After receiving a blow from Arvida, Luffy was unscathed. I'm the rubber man who ate the rubber fruit. Kang turned around and glanced at Luffy who was showing off his abilities with his peripheral vision, and thought to himself, what you are eating is not a rubber fruit, but a legendary existence. Rubber pistol. Luffy punched the fat Arvida away. While flying out, Kang picked up the iron rod and said deeply to Alita in the air. Arvida, don't care about other people's opinions and don't always seek approval from others. Even now, you are still the most beautiful woman in my mind. Come on. Vomit. After saying this, Kang retched again. It took a lot of courage for him to say this. You, just wait for me. Ding. Finally, Arvida turned into a shining star and disappeared into the sky. Captain Arvida. Lost. The pirates around seemed unable to believe their eyes. You give Koby one. At this time, silly Luffy was just about to say something to the other pirates. Kang just wanted to try the attack ninjutsu that was now available, so he took the lead. Water-style water cannonball. After completing the seal, he spit out a huge water bomb from his mouth and swept away the pirates on the deck. The pirates were swept away by the huge water bomb, and most of the affected pirates lost their fighting ability, letting Kang know his approximate strength. The reason why Kang didn't use his most skilled Great Fireball was because the flames were difficult to extinguish. Now that you have chosen to follow the boat flow, the first capital comes from here. Kang felt the remaining amount of chakra, and suddenly his eyes turned into Magatama, and the blood inherited the limit, Sharingan. He instantly appeared in front of a pirate. The pirate's attack movements are like a turtle crawling, and all movements are seen by Sharingan. Kang shuttled across the battlefield like an elegant god of war, and the pirates fell to the ground one after another. As time went by, Kang quickly adapted to fighting. After all, he had the template of Itachi and his physical skills were pretty good. Be careful behind you, Kang. Keby's voice came anxiously. Kang turned around and Sharingan narrowed his eyes slightly as he faced the sneak attack pirate. Do you want to dance too? When the pirate met Kang's eyes, he broke into a cold sweat, dropped his scimitar tremblingly, and surrendered on the spot. So, others followed suit. On the side, Keby was stunned. Luffy beside him couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth, covered his hat and laughed twice before saying. I didn't expect to meet such a strong guy just after I went to sea. What a good luck. I'm determined to be one piece. After a while, a bonfire was lit on the boat, and a variety of food and drinks were placed on the deck. It's a party. With Luffy shouting excitedly, the three of them started the party. As for the pirates on the ship, after preparing the banquet, they were imprisoned by Keby. Dumb. Seeing the food, the weak Dark Crow finally gained some energy and quickly pounced on the food. Dark Crow felt bitter. The dog finally found something to eat than its owner. The Dark Crow was not averse to meat and vegetables, and after eating food several times larger than itself, he flew towards Kang with unsatisfied feelings, and sat slumped on Kang's head like an uncle. Your pets are so special. Keby wiped the sweat from his forehead. He kept observing Dark Crow, fearing that the little guy would die of stress. Shi Kong looked at the round substance thrown out from behind Dark Crow. It was still wet and warm, and had a special smell. Shi Kong held it in his hand and was silent for a while. Chapter 4 is precious as your hat. Hey, Luffy, what are we going to do next? Luffy's mouth was stuffed, and when he heard Shi Kang's words, he clapped his mouth. Gudong. Shi Kong clearly saw the food in Luffy's mouth swallowing and falling into his belly. Ah, of course I'm looking for a partner. I want to find someone as interesting as Shi Kong. It's better to be awesome. Koby on the side heard the conversation between the two and couldn't help but interject. If Mr. Luffy needs a strong partner, I might know someone. Really? Who is that person? Luffy asked. A very powerful bounty hunter, Roronoa Zoro, is the person Miss Arvida is most afraid of. Koby started talking about Zoro's deeds. Are you called a pirate hunter? After listening to Koby's story about Zoro, Luffy couldn't help but feel a little interested. Seems like a good partner. He rubbed his chin with his right hand and made a decision. Okay, let's go find this pirate hunter at the next stop. If he is really a good person, let him be our partner. After hearing this, Shi Kong affirmed, he must be a very good partner. Zoro was once considered the vice captain of the Straw Hats by Hamey in his previous life, which is enough to show Zoro's status in the Straw Hats. Except for a certain criticizing problem, the other characters are almost perfect. Now that the target has been determined, Shi Kong hung up the special bait, threw out the fishing rod, and started fishing. Luffy. Shi Kong, what are you doing? Do you smell anything? Shi Kong. Go away, don't disturb my fishing. Luffy was reluctant. Ninjutsu. Ninjutsu. Perform a clone technique. Boom. A piece of wood fell to the ground and Shi Kong disappeared. Wahaha. Shi Kong. Where is Shi Kong? Luffy filled the boat with joy and began to look for Shi Kong. Hey, Koby, why are you fishing? Luffy looked surprised, he had clearly seen Koby eating just now. By the way, Koby, did you see that guy Shi Kong? Kaido adjusted his glasses without raising his head. Lord Shi Kong seems to have gone to the warehouse to steal some food. Go and look for it over there. Ah, is Shi Kong so fast? Meet, I'm coming. Luffy burst into flames and lightning, and muttered. Shi Kong, ninjutsu, ninjutsu. After Luffy left. Boom, Shi Kong released the transformation technique and yawned. 5 minutes later, a fisherman will never fly in the Air Force. However, when Shi Kong saw the fishing target, his originally excited expression suddenly collapsed. Don't you know that it is everyone's responsibility to care for the environment? Wine bottle. It's actually a wine bottle. Is this special bait still too fresh? Does it smell too much? Dumb. But soon Shi Kong felt relieved again. He felt that the speed of improvement was 10 times higher. This special bait was indeed reliable. The strength of the Straw Hats has increased too quickly, and with the support of fishing rods and bait, they should be able to keep up with them. I don't know if catching fish or something like that will improve me a lot. The next morning, Luffy and Koby were still sleeping soundly. Shi Kong opened his eyes. Before the reliable guys joined, he still had to be the nanny. Boom. Sigma_Ka_Vomit. Shi Kong suddenly retched and squeezed into the place where the pirates were detained. He looked at the pirates in front of him and smiled. But in the eyes of these pirates, Shi Kong looked even scarier than a demon. Shi Kong used the transformation technique to become Arvida. Tell me, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? Yes, it's Captain Arvida. Several people replied instinctively. Not bad, I'll give you some rewards. Shi Kong winked. Sigma_Ka_Vomit. Several pirates didn't eat anything all night, and they still couldn't help but feel sick. You, not Captain Arvida. You are a devil. Stop. Ah, my eyes. Shi Kong continued to put psychological pressure on several people. She gently took off her collar and twisted her plump waist. Don't be nervous. I came here this time to ask you for something. Because my captain wants to go to the nearest marine base, could you please help us sail the boat and take us there? Seeing Alida's narrowed eyes and brilliant red lips, several pirates instinctively felt as if they had fallen into an ice cave, and were extremely frightened. They nodded and bowed hurriedly, regardless of the ropes still tied around their bodies, and tried their best to make gestures. Master Shi Kong, please. We promise to send you all to your destination as quickly as possible. Just can you change back? Bang. The transformation spell was released. Shi Kong looked at the few people and said coldly, as fast as possible. Otherwise, I don't mind letting you experience the power of pressing F. The long-haired pirate in front was the one who was scared to death at first. He lowered his head. Although he didn't understand what F meant, he still kept nodding. Lord Shi Kong, leave the matters on the ship to us. We will arrive at the base as quickly as possible, and then surrender. The long-haired pirate's words made the pirates behind look at each other. What do you mean? Surrender yourself. Stop being a pirate. They glanced at Shi Kong cautiously and were shocked. The same goes for us. Listening to everyone's promises, Shi Kong nodded with satisfaction, untied the rope and turned around to leave. After walking to the deck, Shi Kong transformed into a fisherman. Dumb. The Merc Crow, who had had breakfast, kept dropping special baits from behind, and stopped after 5 or 6 baits were dropped. You've eaten so much, and you're just giving me this little today. Shi Kong accused Dark Crow of dissatisfaction. Dumb, dumb. Dark Crow yelled at Chi Kong, but they couldn't understand the language, so they ended up talking to each other. Enduring the feeling of discomfort, Chi Kong directly hooked the hook and threw the hook in one go. The salted fish begins. Last night's training allowed Chi Kong to know the taste of food. After using a special bait to catch a fish creature, his physique shrank. It's just that this special bait is a bit unbearable to look at. If you can catch fish, it will bully the fish's ignorance. Starfish. It's actually a starfish. Amazing. Chi Kong. This is a special fish that only appears in the East China Sea at night. The two children, Luffy and Koby, screamed loudly at the fish tank on the boat. Chi Kong replied disdainfully. You don't understand, I don't even need to make a nest, this is only part of my strength. What Chi Kong didn't say was that except for this fish last night, the others were all aquatic plants, stones, wine bottles, fish bones and the like. Although they can also increase physical fitness, they are much worse than the fish. Don't ask. We don't know why we can catch rocks and fish bones when fishing. Chi Kong. I want to fish too. I want to fish too. With that said, Luffy was about to snatch Chi Kang's fishing rod. This action almost frightened Chi Kong. Because of Luffy's rough movements, the Supreme Quick Rod almost lost his grip and fell into the sea. Chi Kong couldn't imagine what he would do without the Supreme Great Quick Rod. The Heaven System has said that this is the only way for him to improve his strength. Get away, Luffy. Luffy was stunned. Chi Kong is angry. Chi Kong grabbed Luffy's wrist, his strength filled with nervousness and seriousness. Listen, Luffy, this is no ordinary fishing rod. It's the Supreme Quick Rod. This is something very important to me. It was left to me by a special being. To me, every fishing trip is a special kind of practice. Luffy obviously didn't understand, so Chi Kong could only explain in another way. You may not understand, but this fishing rod is as important to me as your straw hat. Your straw hat symbolizes your beliefs and dreams, and my Supreme Big Fast Rod carries my ever-changing strong way. When Luffy heard this, his eyes flashed seriously. Is it the same as my straw hat? He slowly let go of his hand, apparently beginning to understand why Chi Kong cared so much about this fishing rod. He took a step back, held up his straw hat, patted his chest and said seriously, I understand, Chi Kong. I won't move around anymore. I know the importance of this thing. This is something that needs to be protected with my life. Chapter 5 Shields Town. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Gentlemen, this is Shields Town, the headquarters of Branch 153. The long-haired pirate informed the two bosses with a flattering look on his face. Awesome. Is this the marine base? Luffy stood on the bow of the ship and was very excited. Looking at his excitement, who would have thought that he was a pirate? Those who didn't know better thought he had a marine relative who came to the marine base to visit relatives. Bang! The fishing rod in Chi Kang's hand disappeared and was sealed into the sealing techniques ninja in his right hand, which also contained an iron rod from Arvida. This way, you can use it whenever you want, and it won't consume much chakra. Chi Kong sighed and said something very scientific, then looked at Koby and said. We are a pirate ship, and marines will be surrounding us soon. At that time, will Koby leave directly with us, or will we have a meal? Koby hesitated and left directly with Marine. He, Luffy and Kai Kong might belong to different camps. Koby, let's go eat. I'm going to starve to death. Chi Kong, hurry up too. Luffy didn't care about Koby's changes in his heart, he just grabbed Koby and ran to the town. The two of them must have eaten the king's meal here. As a good young man in the 21st century, Chi Kong thought he couldn't do it. Chi Kong was holding a fish bucket and shouted from behind. You go first. I'll get some money and go there. The Arvida pirates are also very vicious in the East China Sea. Although Arvida was beaten away by Luffy, the others in the car are still worth some money. Not long after, a group of marines came towards the port. Although their eyes were dull, they were firm. Chi Kong raised his hands. I am a bounty hunter, Cool D. Chicken. I can trade these crew members of the Arvida pirates for bounty, is that okay? Marine was also surprised when he saw the pirates on the deck. Chi Kong was invited into the marine base by Marine. Bounty hunter Chi Kong, please stop your behavior. This is feng shui fish. Marine, the leader, said seriously. Chi Kong coughed twice and retracted the fishing line that was extended into the fish tank. I can't help myself, I can't help myself. Lieutenant Colonel Marine breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Chi Kong take back the fishing rod. Who is this person? He went fishing and caught someone else's fish tank. Arvida escaped, but the identities of the other members of the Arvida pirates have been identified, and their bounty totals 1.36 million Baileys. As for the pirate ship, it's cheaper to recycle it. We can pay a total of 7 million belly. Do you think it's okay? We don't have any more money. The lieutenant colonel seemed a little embarrassed to say that the money given was too little and they were embarrassed. However, Chi Kong was very content. He was a little nervous at first. The town of Shields was almost destroyed by Menka. It would be great to have nearly 10 million Baileys. He was really afraid that the marine base was so poor that it wouldn't even give out the bounty. Fortunately, although Menka was conceited, he didn't dare to blatantly touch the funds of the marine headquarters. Enough. Chi Kong collected the money and was about to leave when the lieutenant colonel said. If there's nothing else, you'd better leave town early. Because. In the end, Marine, who had a righteous heart, didn't know what reason he had to persuade him. Kong smiled. Nothing else. How is that possible? We could actually do another deal, he said. After going out. Dumb, 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 dumb. The dark crow stomped on Kang's head and screamed. Are you hungry? Or what? Kong tried to ask, following Dark Crow's gaze. At this time, two familiar guys were lying on the wall of the marine base, constantly looking inside and pointing. Kong covered his face. Did he start acting like a monster as soon as he finished speaking? How about climbing up the wall like this? No one has discovered the key yet. Is this reasonable? Hey, Luffy, have you eaten? Are you ready to eat without waiting for me? I haven't eaten yet. Luffy found Kong coming out of the marine base and didn't feel anything wrong at all. Ah, Kong, haven't you eaten yet? Come and see. The pirate hunter is here. Let's recruit this guy. Kong instantly appeared on the wall. He was really curious about what Suoda was like in reality. Watch from the front row. In the center of the playground, a guy wearing white short sleeves, black trousers, and a black turban was tied to a stake, as if he was being captured in combat mode. Although Kong admired the real man Suoda, he still couldn't help but complain. If a boy wears earrings, he is either a gangster or gay. But he is very strong. What should I say, Captain? After thinking about it, Luffy tilted his head. Yeah, what do you mean guy? Anyway, let's help him untie the rope and ask him if he wants to be our partner. At this time, a trembling voice sounded. Mr. Luffy, Master Kong, if you really want this guy to be your partner, it will be very dangerous. The timid Kirby has been frightened by Zoro's beast-like eyes, and is afraid that after releasing Zoro, he will chop everyone. Get out of my way. Do you think I'm a monkey? Don't get in the way. At this time, Zoro's weak voice came, obviously not in good condition. While the three of them continued to watch the monkeys, a ladder appeared on the wall. Yes, that's right. It just appeared suddenly. A little girl glared at Kong and made a shish gesture as a warning. Then she quickly climbed over the wall, jumped into the marine base, and rushed towards Zoro. Big brother, I made rice balls for you. Eat it quickly. Zoro opened his eyes and yelled angrily, are you looking for death? Little girl, get out of here. The little girl didn't care about Zoro's scolding and insisted, this is my first time making it. I don't know if it tastes good. And Zoro continued to roar with an angry voice, you don't understand. Kid, I told you to get away. In fact, Zoro was doing this to protect the little girl, because the official second generation had already walked over at this time. Tisk, tisk, tisk. It's wrong to bully little girls, roar no Zoro. The frivolous voice of Menka's son Balloon came. Is this a rice ball to comfort Marine? It's mine. As he said this, Mabel wanted to snatch the rice ball. Kong was speechless. There were three people standing on the wall. Didn't this guy even notice? He couldn't bear to bully the little girl, so he appeared in front of the little girl. Just experiment to see if genjutsu can be used. Hey, Balloomber, look at me. Hey, do you know me? Balloombo looked at Kong. Kang's Sharingan spun around, and Balloombo suddenly trembled. At this time, Balloon was like a puppet, letting his master do whatever he wanted. Dad, Kong used Sharingan's genjutsu for the first time. The opponent didn't have chakra, but he still controlled it. However, this seems to have become a competition of will between one's own pupils and the opponent's. Fortunately, Balloomeb's mental will was very poor and he was easily controlled. The two Marines behind Balloomber were stunned. Why did the young master call this guy with a bird on his head daddy? Is this a story I have to tell with the colonel's wife? But soon, they discovered that something was wrong with Balloomb. With a mocking expression, Balloombo told Zoro next to him. What happened to my pet? I'm Menka's son, no pirate hunter dares to beat me. Although he is very strong. Still under my threat, he is willing to give up resistance. Ha ha. I didn't even want to let this untouchable man go, and he actually foolishly believed that I would let him go. Ha ha ha. I want to see him exposed to the elements and starved to death in front of me. If he doesn't die yet, when he has no strength to resist, I will execute him. It won't be long, right? Ha ha ha. After listening to Balloomeb's words, Suoda's face became more and more gloomy. His eyes were selective and devouring. Kang's actions made Zoro deeply aware of his naivety and ridiculousness. He feels like a clown. Chapter 6 Recruitment. What did you do to Master Balloomber? The Marine guard raised his musket and asked Kong. Kong hugged the little girl and hid behind Mabel Bell. How about waiting quietly for our captain to speak and I'll make sure nothing happens to him. At this time, Luffy was already standing in front of Zoro, and he was looking at Zoro. Zoro shouted anxiously, hey, aren't you afraid of the father of this second-generation ancestor? He is Colonel Marine. Not afraid. Luffy picked his nose. Kaido. Kong couldn't help but complain. His father is a revolutionary soldier and his grandfather is a Marine hero. Will he be afraid? I'm looking for a partner to go out to sea as a pirate, and you seem to be a good one. Be my partner. Zoro's mouth twitched wildly after hearing Luffy's words. Let a pirate hunter become a pirate. Have you ever asked about my deeds? How did you say this? You are really self-destructive guys. I refuse. Luffy refused. I will help you untie the rope, and you will be my crew member. Zoro said angrily. Don't you understand? I refuse. Luffy said angrily. I don't care. I have already regarded you as a crew member. Shark mouth Zoro. Don't make your own decisions, you guy. Luffy seemed to have thought of something. Hey, aren't you a swordsman? Where is your sword? Zoro said with a sullen face. That's something worth my life, and it was taken away by them. Luffy's eyes lit up and he touched his straw hat. Since it is such an important thing, I will help you find it. You will be my crew member. Zoro. You are so despicable. This time, Zoro neither refused nor agreed, giving an ambiguous answer. Luffy laughed and ran towards the marine base, leaving behind a sentence. Kong, Koby, don't move around here. I'll come as soon as I go. Kong looked at Luffy's back and tilted his head. Why are Luffy's words so familiar? The little girl's name is Rika. Zoro ended up like this just because he was trying to save her. Now Rika is feeding Zoro rice balls. And Soda is blushing in embarrassment. Lowly killer. Damn it. Kong used Balloomber as a human shield, protecting Leja and Koby, and dutifully confronted them. The rice balls are delicious, thank you Leja. You should leave quickly. Kong felt that the time was almost up and looked at the two marines, not wanting to embarrass them. Take Balloomb and go back. It's easy for you to do business. Don't come over here. Kong returned the second-generation ancestor to Marine, and threw Koby and Leja out in a flash. It's time to clear out. Zoro looked up at Kong. Hey, can you untie me? Kong looked disgusted with Kaido. I refuse. Zoro. I'll give you the bounty for any pirates I catch in the future, okay? Kong. It has nothing to do with this. How many days has it been? Zoro was stunned. 9 days. Kong kept looking at Zoro's crotch. Can you bear it? I don't believe it. It's better to wait for the captain, since you haven't chosen to join yet. Zoro suddenly thought of what Kong was talking about and turned into a shark tooth. He said angrily. I'm going to kill you. Lousy is going to kill you. Kong whistled and sat on the wall, threw out the fishing rod, and the fishhook just fell into the drainage ditch next to Zoro. What are you doing? Zoro twisted his lower body, confused. Kong looked at the green algae head like an idiot. Fishing, can't you see it? Zoro had half-heartedly wanted to join this pirate group just now, but now it seems like what kind of weirdos are these guys? A captain who robs people like a human trafficker, and a strange crew member who fishes in the sewer. So who am I, a three-sword clown? The statue fell down. Is it made of the straw hat? Zoro's blood pressure instantly spiked. Damn it, didn't you just go get a knife? Why was Marine discovered it? In Zoro's eyes, Luffy was basically dead when he was discovered, not to mention the hail of bullets. After all, they were all mortal bodies, and some people might die after just a fall. Hey, fishing guy, aren't you going to help? Your captain seems to be in trouble. Kong fished calmly, curled his lips and said, if Luffy dies, then the whole show is over. Don't underestimate him, he is my captain. Suddenly Kong felt the fishing rod shake. He made a perfect closing shot, and a dark fish was lifted out. Is this okay? Zoro's voice came. Seeing Kong catch the fish, Zoro's eyes almost popped out of his head. Very puzzled. Does this fish eat daddy? Can humans survive eating feces? Zoro racked his brains and couldn't figure it out. Dumb. The dark crow was screaming on Kang's head. Every time Kong caught a fish, the dark crow on his head would scream like this. He couldn't understand it anyway, so it was no surprise. However, this also made Kong think of this burden. I almost forgot about you, go protect Koby Dark Crow. Now that the Dark Crow has just broken out of his egg, he still needs to protect it. At this moment, dense footsteps came. Hey, Marine is here. Your captain may be dead, why don't you run away? Zoro reminded. As I said, don't underestimate our captain, he is not an ordinary person. Kong closed his pole and jumped down. He found a group of Marines running out of the Marine base, including a tall and cold guy. Kong recognized this guy. Kill these intruders, shoot. A cold voice came from this man's mouth. The Navy's dark guns are aimed at Kong and Zoro. Zoro was sweating profusely and asked, why am I in the shooting range? I'm a prisoner, not an intruder. But Zoro's words fell on deaf ears. Are you going to die? We made an agreement. Kuina, no, I can't die. Zoro yelled hysterically. Pirate. Save me, I promise you, I can be a pirate. After hearing this, Kang's mouth curled up, and the arrogant Suoda was finally afraid. But I'm not afraid of death, I'm just afraid of not being able to realize my dream. Kong instantly appeared in front of Zoro, formed a seal with super fast speed, and clapped his hands. Water-style water barrier. A narrow water wall encompassing the two people appeared around them, and the rising water blocked all the bullets. Seeing this scene, Zoro's surprised expression changed. As the water wall disappeared, Zoro was even more surprised. This time too Kong appeared. Magic. What the hell is going on? Zoro has no idea what's going on. Kang's words echoed throughout the square. Reintroduce me. Cool D. Kong, a fishing guy who loves peace and likes to reason. Another Kong continued. Of course, if it doesn't make sense, I know a little bit about ninjutsu. The one who spoke was Kong in the water body. In line with the principle of saving water, he summoned a water body that consumed less water. Pretend to be a ghost. Keep shooting. The voice from behind became even more violent. However, Shi Kang's body turned into an afterimage and escaped from the attack range, leaving a water avatar in place for Zoro to loosen. After another round of shooting from Marine, Zoro's rope had just been half untied when Shi Kang's clone was seriously injured and disappeared into a puddle of water. But Shi Kang has already seen the return of a guy who turned into a cannonball. At this time, the human shield is gone. Zoro doesn't have time to break free. The subsequent lead bullets have gradually been reflected in the pupils. He is also made of flesh and blood, such an intensive attack. Could it be? Isn't it still possible? If I had known earlier, I would not have been so arrogant. Kuina. Zoro started to remember again, and suddenly his eyes flashed. A guy wearing a straw hat and holding 3 long knives appeared in front of him. Chapter 7 Zoro joins the group and attacks Menka together. Puff 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 puff. The dense bullets all hit Luffy's body, making Zoro, who was recalling his childhood again, stunned again. Bullets are useless. Luffy's body stretched suddenly, and all the bullets returned in the same direction. Marine fell down one after another, and everyone fell on his back. What kind of monster are you? Zoro used. Again, unknowingly. Luffy turned around and showed a white smile. I am the rubber man who ate the rubber fruit. Monkey D. Luffy, I want to be the man of One Piece. Luffy swung his knife across the rope to save Zoro and said, I found 3 knives. I didn't know which one was yours, so I took them all. It's all mine. Give it to me. I'm a 3-sword swordsman. Zoro struggled on the line between life and death for 2 moments, and finally saw through it. Some things are indeed more precious than life. Phew. Instead of waiting to die here, why not join you? Just pirates. Notoriety is also fame. I will still make Roronoa Zoro's name resound in the kingdom of heaven. Zoro said with firm eyes. The other side. Did you see that man turned into water? What kind of monster is that man? The bullets bounced off him. Ordinary Marine was frightened by Chi Kong and Luffy's weirdness. In the chaos and panic, the crowd at the rear automatically split to both sides, revealing a strong man holding a giant axe and a steel jaw, Menka. He dragged his iconic axe and shouted, Idiot, it's just the power of the devil fruit. Axe King Menka is well informed and has heard about the secret treasures of the sea. He instantly told the truth, but he didn't know that Chi Kong was a different kind. Menka's veins popped out, and the giant axe in his hand pointed straight ahead. A bunch of losers. If you can't use guns, use swords. Give them to me, otherwise you will all die. Facing Commander Menka's order, Marine did not dare to hesitate at all, so he could only hold up the knife and bite the bullet. Zoro bit, Wado Yiman, and his eyes changed instantly. I saw his wrists flying, 3 sword lights flashing alternately, and in an understatement, he firmly clamped 7 or 8 sharply slashing blades. Don't move or you will die. Marine was so frightened by Zoro's eyes that Kamui was dripping with cold sweat. Zoro's beastly voice came, I promise you to become a pirate. But I have my own ambitions. Remember, if you dare to force me to give up my dream, I will let you commit suicide in front of me. Luffy grinned broadly. The greatest swordsman is a match. One Piece's partner must be so good, right? Chi Kong. Chi Kong nodded in agreement. At this time, Chi Kong finally understood the origin of Zoro's beast-like voice. It turned out to be because Suo Da was biting the knife and couldn't speak clearly, making a whining sound. What are you doing standing still? Menka roared angrily. The Marine who rushed forward was frightened by Zoro alone. The furious Menka swung his axe and killed a soldier on the spot. Shoot. Kill those losers too. Facing Menka, who had been accumulating power for a long time, the Marine soldiers raised their weapons without hesitation and aimed at everyone in front, including their own people. I'm going to use my best ninjutsu next. Chi Kong began to form seals to remind his teammates. Fire style fried rotten tomatoes. Let's compete. 3-sword style. Tiger hunting. Haha. Rubber balloon. The 3 of them used their signature skills, and they had a tacit understanding, and one of them attacked one side. Although they had never cooperated before, they had an unexpected tacit understanding. A huge ball of flame spurted out from Chi Kang's mouth. This time, in order to ensure the lethality, he used his best fire style. Hot. So hot. Spitting fire. Ordinary people have never seen this kind of fire control ability, abandoning their armor in bursts of despair. As a series of screams came out, as well as the sound of various weapons falling to the ground, the number of Marines shooting dropped rapidly. Judging from the effect, he is still very satisfied with the power of Chi Kang's ninjutsu. Don't underestimate others. Colonel Menka. The flame went out, and Chi Kang's voice came through the smoke. Ask me if you want to take action against my partner. When the smoke cleared, Menka looked down at Chi Kong and said arrogantly, ha ha ha. It doesn't matter. I am the great Menka. Seeing that he had successfully attracted Menka's attention, Chi Kong spun his Sharingan at high speed. Genjutsu Yaohang no Jutsu. In an instant, Menka's veins popped out, as if he was struggling with something. At the same time, Chi Kong felt that his chakra was about to bottom out. Only 2 seconds. In Menka's field of vision, his limbs were driven into wedges, and the freedom of his body was completely lost, accompanied by the illusion of physical pain. Although Zoro doesn't know what's going on with Menka, he knows that he has something to do with Chi Kong. This man is mine. 3-sword style. Ghost Slayer. Zoro wielded 3 swords like his arms and attacked Menka in the air. At this time, another high-speed figure passed by sideways. A-hole. This opponent is mine. Rubber machine gun. Menka was attacked from the front and back by the two strongest combatants of the Straw Hats. After a violent storm, his eyes turned white and he fell to the ground. So you also ate some devil fruit. You can actually control fire. Your attack method is so special. Zoro wiped the knife to show his approval to Kong. But Zoro's words made Luffy unhappy. Kong is a ninja. He is a ninja. Ninja, is this what ninjas are like? Zoro frowned. Kong was breathing heavily at this time and had no strength to speak at all, and almost collapsed to the ground. It's actually hard to control a novice monster. Laozi wants to fish. He wants to catch many, many fish. Kong is now thinking about fishing. Zoro sheathed his sword and said, "It's time for us to leave, Captain." "Okay, since you agreed to be my crew member, there is no need to stay here." Then. Rubber tangle. Kong and Zoro were directly entangled by Luffy's outstretched arms, and Luffy pulled them up like he was driving away corpses. "Let's go eat. Haha. Wait until the intruder disappears." Menka is defeated. Liberated. Marine, who was still angry, cheered. It seemed that Menka's status was not even as good as that of a pirate. At the same time, many Marines who had not participated in the war emerged from the Marine headquarters, led by the lieutenant colonel who gave Kong the bounty. He walked up to Menka and pronounced the sentence. "Colonel Menka." "No, Menka, I am here to officially announce that you are under arrest." Menka tried his best to open his eyes, looked at the blue sky, and murmured. "The Black Cat Pirates, Baji Crow, I remember them all. What have I done all these years?" As he spoke, Menka shed tears. "I'm sorry, my colleagues. I admit that I am guilty. Woohoo." This scene made other Marines a little unbelievable. Colonel Menka, who had always been cruel, actually shed tears. At this moment, Menka's mind was clear, as if he had returned to the original passionate Marine. The Black Cat Pirates, Baji Crow faked his death, and Monka became violent and arrogant by his crew member, Zangao, hypnosis. Because he was hit by Kang's genjutsu, his hypnosis effect was broken, and Monka recovered and completely remembered everything. Chapter 8 Target Buggy. In Liege's mother-daughter store. Meat. This is Luffy. Is there any wine? This was Zoro. Hey, do you have money? This is a good young man with quality in the 21st century. Hey, Luffy, who is the one who has been hungry for 9 days? Zoro was shocked when he saw Luffy eating and drinking. At this time, he didn't know the terror of the rubber man. As long as the mind wanders. Hey, you B asterisk 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 D. You actually stole my food. Brother Zoro, I'll give you my rice ball. Seeing that Zoro was exhausted, Liege trotted over to give him warmth. Oh, thank you Liege, brother is full. Zoro was a little embarrassed. Kong was still lamenting just now that the quality of people in the world of One Piece is really strong. It seems that everyone returned with life after the war. As a result, when I saw this scene, I gnashed my teeth on the side. Damn it. How can it be fixed? Zoro, you are a Lolita control. You are a fool. Zoro was angry. Who are you calling a crazy person? Do you have any evidence? Kong, didn't you say that you became a bounty hunter only when you couldn't find your way home? Do you want to fight? Can the swordsman thing be called getting lost? That's traveling. There was a bustle of joy in the restaurant. At the same time, the residents of the town had learned the news of Menka's defeat and fell into a carnival. You really defeated Menka. Koby couldn't believe it. Kangu touched Koby's head and said teasingly, "What? Seeing such a scene, you, Marine, shouldn't be mistaken." Koby shook his head and seemed very troubled. "I want to be a righteous Marine. This is my dream. I won't give up. It's just that I'm a little confused." But Luffy soon cured Koby's entanglement and confusion, because it's a party. It turns out that Liege and her daughter have united with the women in the town to prepare a large table of delicious food. Please let us send you off. Heroes. All food is free. This is what we can do. Luffy laughed. This was his favorite activity. Kong shook his head and sighed. Luffy is also big-hearted. How can the residents of this town have money? But fortunately, he exchanged some of the bounty and will keep some of it when the time comes. Kong raised a glass to Zoro, who was out of place. "Soda, welcome to the Straw Hat Pirates." Zoro curled his lips. With such an unreliable captain, are we really pirates? Kong chuckled. Who knows? Don't pay too much attention, you will know in the future, we are very reliable. I don't know where your confidence comes from. Since we are pirates, what about the others? Kong coughed. There are only 3 of us for now. Zoro was sweating profusely. Where's the boat? There must be one, right? Kong pointed outside. The original one was sold. I replaced it with another one. I think it should be enough. Zoro looked at the dock. Parked there is a small, luxurious wooden boat with a 360 degrees panoramic skylight, real person 4D navigation and manual navigation. The main thing on the wooden boat is the Marine logo that has not been erased. Are you kidding me? Zoro doesn't seem to want to admit that he joined a weird pirate group, but he still has to finish the path he chose while crying. Do you smell anything? Kong. Zoro raised his glass and drank it in one gulp, and said suddenly. Then his head was full of black lines. Hey, why do you put your fishing rod in the wine barrel? I remember your fishing rod. Ah, I'm going to kill you. Kong. Zoro's sword struck Kang's body. 1 sword and 12 knives, the knives deliver critical strikes. So Kong ran away, explaining as he ran. Suoda, I can't help myself. You know I want to fish when I see water. Ha ha, I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I want to be the man of One Piece. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Luffy's voice echoed through the sky. It seemed that he was introducing himself again. Noon on the second day. Farewell to Kirby, we are going to the Grand Line. Luffy picked his teeth and smiled at Kirby. Kirby cried. Are you really going to the Grand Line? Can we not be friends anymore? Because of his cowardly character, Koby has had no friends since he was a child. Finally, he met a friend who he could confide in, so he was very reluctant to let go. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Marine came over with a group of Marines. Although Luffy only calls himself a pirate, he actually does not have a ship or a flag, but Kong is smarter and now calls himself a bounty hunter. The Lieutenant Colonel also knew about the situation of Luffy and his group. At first he just turned a blind eye, but Luffy said everywhere that he wanted to become One Piece. He was also helpless. He first told the fact that Marine was walking on thin ice under Monka's tyranny, and his gratitude to Luffy for saving Shields Town. After Marine's painful narration, Koby seemed to have regained his previous dreams. Great, not all Marines recognize guys like Monka. They also have good and bad qualities, right? Kirby. Luffy seemed to be even more excited than Kirby. The Lieutenant Colonel suddenly pressed his hat and said in a deep voice. You shouldn't go around saying you are a pirate, then you are still a hero, but please leave this town now. Marines and pirates will always be at odds with each other. Seeing this, Kong knew that it was not suitable to stay here for a long time, and everyone was leaving anyway. He grabbed the little Kirby and kicked Marine. This guy was picked up on the Arvida ship. We don't have any use for it now. Let's give it back to you. Luffy also pointed at Kirby and laughed. This guy used to work as a pirate handyman under a fat and ugly old woman. He was so timid that he actually stayed there for 2 years. It's really funny. Why? Stop talking. Stop talking. Luffy's words made Koby blush. If Marine knew that he had been with pirates, he might not be able to become a Marine because he couldn't pass the political review. I hate you. Stop talking. Koby suddenly punched Luffy. With some divine assistance, Lieutenant Colonel Marine made an exception and agreed to Kirby's application to join Marine. However, Kong had the talent to leave 5 million belly for the banquet expenses and packed a lot of food. Without Nami, the rest of the journey would not be easy. At this time, the port of Shur's town was completely besieged. Accompanied by her mother, Leja came to the boat and took out another rice ball. Big brother, I gave it to you. I made it myself. Your help to our mother and daughter will be unforgettable for a lifetime. Thank you. Leja's mother also bent down and bowed, thanking this pirate hunter who was willing to surrender for them. Zoro took the rice ball. It's delicious. It's delicious. Then he turned and left without looking back, because he was afraid of being laughed at. Only the pouting Leja was left here with reluctance. Sister Control. Liu Kai Swordsman. Kong arrived just in time with supplies and saw this scene. As the big and small bags were thrown into the boat, Kong looked at the Lieutenant Colonel. The Lieutenant Colonel gritted his teeth and said, the chart is gone. Only one card is left. Kong took the card thoughtfully. On it was a pirate pattern with a clown skull and a sentence, see chart. I accepted it with pleasure. The bounty is 15 million Baileys, Joker, Buggy. Kong sighed. The last thing he wanted to meet in the early stage was Buggy the Clown, this red-haired good brother and the former trainee crew member of One Piece. He has tried to change some things, but some things seem to be unavoidable. Kong sat in position C and took out his fishing rod. I can finally fish leisurely. I want to fight until dawn. Boring. Zoro rested his head on the side and looked at the crowded boat with some disgust. Luffy, take care, Koby said while wiping his tears, but Luffy kept smiling and stood on the bow of the ship and waved his hand. Sail away. Target Buggy the Clown. This move instantly aroused Kong and Zoro's dissatisfaction. You want to row a boat too? Hey, ×2. Chapter 9 Nami hates pirates. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Lousy, just fished for a day. You told me there is only so much food. I obviously prepared 2 weeks worth. Luffy's amount. Kong was holding the fish bucket and looking at the shrunken package. He was extremely shocked. Luffy held his big belly and said dissatisfiedly, but besides eating, there is nothing else to do. On the side, Zoro kept pouring wine and casually asked Kaido, don't you know how to fish? Aren't these fish edible? Kong said angrily, you know how to grill fish. Kong said this because he disliked the fish and dogs he grilled. After Zoro thought for a while, he said, if there is fire, you can try it. A few days later. Where are we now? Who told me? Kong looked for the chart of the East China Sea, but he couldn't understand it at all. We need navigators. Luffy. At this time, Luffy stared at Dark Crow with a bad look, drooled, and murmured, I think the chef is also very important. What are you going to do, Luffy? Luffy. Hungry. So hungry. Can you give me some meat? I refuse. ×2. I'm the captain. Luffy crossed his arms and was a little dissatisfied. Humph. I don't believe you don't eat it. Kong rolled his eyes. Would you like another grilled fish? Black Knight armored fish. Want. Luffy's eyes lit up. He had eaten this fish before when he was a child. The scales were very hard, but the fish tasted very good. So, Luffy looked at the Heibu Luchu in his hand, and the smell had been covered by the charcoal roasting. As this, Zoro seemed a little surprised. The fish no longer had any discernible shape, and Luffy shook his head just looking at it. This doesn't seem to be made by Zoro, it should be Kang's workmanship. After admiring the color and fragrance, Luffy swallowed it in one gulp. Follow the food into your belly. It tastes weird. Yuck. Black smoke came out of Luffy's mouth, his eyes turned white, and he fainted. While Luffy fainted, Kang and Zoro took out the food and quickly replenished it. A few more days. The three of them have been lost in the sea, and they only have a little bit of key food. The protagonist's halo is very much needed now. Meat, meat. Did Kang catch any fish? I feel like I'm going to starve to death. Hearing Luffy's nagging, Kang pointed to the water plants and stones next to him. Zoro and Luffy picked up the water plants and stuffed them into their mouths, and Luffy even stared at the rocks. But in the end he endured it and begged, I want to eat meat. Kang, this is not enough to eat at all. It's time to eat the reserve grain. I want to eat roasted bird meat. That's my baby. Don't even think about it. There are so many birds in the sky, don't you know how to catch them yourself? Kang concentrated on holding the fishing rod. Because he did not feed the black crows, he had not received the special bait for 3 days, and his physical fitness improved too slowly. Rubber rocket. Whoosh. A gust of wind blew by and the ship swayed. FK. Luffy. What are you doing? Are you stupid? Zoro was too hungry to move, but he couldn't help but scream. Stuck. Help. Zoro. Help. Kang. Kang followed the sound and took a deep breath. He saw Luffy being held by a big bird, gradually moving away. This is a gift from thousands of miles away, but the courtesy is light and the affection is heavy. Are you an idiot? ×2. Devil fruit users are cursed by the sea. Falling into the sea is no different from death. If this falls, the whole drama will be over. Zoro, you row the boat. Kang jumped out, chakra attached to his feet, stepping on the water, running at high speed and chasing Luffy's direction. That's the direction of the cloud, right? Zoro said confidently. I'm so stupid. Really? Kang ran a few steps, looked at Luffy who was getting further and further away, and then looked back at the Lukai swordsman. He doesn't want to be a nanny, he just wants to fish quietly. These two idiot teammates in the early stage are really deadly. I want Nami. I want Robin. Luffy is the protagonist. Luffy is the protagonist. Kang could only keep hinting to himself. Although he was not sure whether his arrival would have a butterfly effect, he could only take one step at a time. If Luffy is gone, Lousy will become the fishing king. Kang thought hard. Pull quickly. Kang. Luffy is almost gone. Don't bother me, lost swordsman. I'm already very fast. Let's paddle together. Land. I see land. Zoro. Don't open your eyes. Paddling with your eyes closed. It's so noisy. You're so verbose. Kaido. Dissatisfied Zoro. After unremitting efforts, the two landed on the island. Zoro frowned. This town is so quiet. Something is wrong. Why bother with so much? Eat first. Kang was very calm. Without a chart, they could not enter the Grand Route. The gear of fate allowed them to find Buggy. The two of them did not look for Luffy immediately, but found a restaurant to eat. What they didn't know was that not long ago, Nami and Luffy were sitting opposite each other. Have you separated from your companions? How strong are they? Nami inquired. Well, my partners are Kang and Zoro, a ninja and a swordsman, very strong. What about them? How did you separate? I don't know where they are. I was picked up by a bird. Nami. ODO. After the shock, Nami rubbed his chin. This straw hat is very powerful, but there seems to be something wrong with his brain. However, this guy is just right. So, Nami spread out the chart and said. Then let's talk about business. This is the nautical chart of the Grand Route that I just stole. With him, we can cooperate to enter the Grand Route and steal more money from the Great Pirate. How about it? Do you want to work together to make a fortune? After Nami finished speaking, he looked at the idiot Luffy. Hey, do you know how to sail? The stupid Luffy didn't hear anything else, but he instantly grasped a certain key point. I have to say that this character looks very much like Zhang Fei. Nami looked confident. Navigation, I'm a professional. How about it? If you want to cooperate, 20 to 80 is not a problem. Luffy shouted excitedly. Great, we are going to the Grand Line. You can be our navigator. Really? Nami also became excited. Luffy nodded. Our pirate group is definitely the best in the world, because I want to be one piece. Ah, after a long time, it turned out that you were a pirate. It's so boring. As soon as Luffy said this, Nami's face immediately changed, and she turned around and left with a look of disgust. Why? Luffy looked confused, he was fine just now. Nami slammed his hands on the table and said angrily. Listen, in the world, what I hate most is pirates. I like money and oranges. Even if I die outside, jump from here, I will never get on your boat. After Nami finished speaking, she wanted to leave and escape from the island. She was surprised to find through the window that a group of pirates were looking for her all over the map. She looked at Luffy, thought of stupid Buggy, and had a plan in mind. Ahem, Straw Hat brother, what's your name? I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I am the man who wants to become One Piece. Okay, Luffy, listen, if you are willing to agree to my request, I can consider your suggestion. Chapter 10 The Master is coming. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Hey, I'm so full. Dumb. Kong took out a cloth bag to catch the special baits. Hey, please don't do this kind of thing while I'm eating. Zoro turned into a shark's mouth, and he drew his sword angrily and wanted to kill Kong. Don't worry about these details, let's go. We're full, it's time to fight. Kong left 50,000 belly and left the deserted tavern with Zoro. After beating up a few pirates along the way, the two found the base camp of Buggy the Clown. The tallest building in town. At this time, Buggy is having a party because the nautical chart has been lost and recovered, and he is also welcoming his new partner Nami. Little ones, go back to the Grand Line tomorrow, cheer as much as you like, and eat as much as you like. While everyone was enjoying themselves, Nami kept peeking at Luffy, the guy who was so hungry that he couldn't eat iron. There were mixed feelings in her heart, including apologies for betrayal and pity for his brainlessness. Nami secretly threw a piece of meat to Luffy. Buggy was keenly aware of this scene and asked, "Hey, Nami, what are you doing?" Nami panicked and hurriedly Kaido. No, Luffy, this idiot, smiled and said, "Nami, you actually gave me meat to eat, you are such a good person. Be my navigator." Buggy, the clown, walked over, exuding a fierce momentum as he walked, showing off his power without being angry. Straw Hat, do you know your ending? Do you think the pirates are just playing house? Buggy stared at Luffy's straw hat and asked his soul. Buggy's younger brother was dumbfounded by this scene, and Nami, who thought Buggy was a fool, was stunned on the spot, her legs constantly shaking. He felt the same desperate aura from Buggy as Eren. This red-nosed uncle, do you know me? Luffy asked doubtfully, feeling that Buggy was looking at him strangely. Red nose. He said red nose. All the pirates were horrified. Buggy the clown said with a gloomy face. Ha ha ha. Good. Interesting. You succeeded in provoking me. Someone, bring me the Buggy. Soon the smoothbore cannon was pushed up, and a cannonball painted with a clown's appearance was loaded. After handing a torch to Nami, Buggy pointed to Luffy in the cage and said to Nami. Kill him, or you die. It depends on your determination. Little thief cat. After saying that, Buggy the clown turned and left. Nami's legs couldn't help trembling. Buggy's momentum just now completely shocked her. Are you desperate? Is it worth it for this fool? At this time, a fat young man rushed in eagerly. The boss is in trouble. A master is knocking on the door. Buggy turned back to his silly look and said with a bad expression, "What master? How many floors are there?" Seeing Buggy's expression was wrong, the pirate said tremblingly. It's about 4 or 5 stories high, but the little ones can't stop it. Luffy grinned in the cage. It must be Kong and Zoro. They found me. Ha ha. When the clown Buggy heard this, he laughed and said. Then I'll blow you up first. Nami, do it quickly. Blast him for me. Blow him up. Kill him. The minions kept making noises, but Nami showed no reaction. Newcomer, you can't even light a fire. At this time, a pirate couldn't stand it anymore and grabbed the torch. He lit it skillfully. Bang. Nami took out a stick from nowhere and knocked him to the ground. The flesh and blood palm directly covered the sparks. Kong was heartbroken by this scene. What happened? I accidentally. Nami didn't expect that she would have such a reaction, and she broke out in a cold sweat. Luffy was also a little confused and said with a smile, "In the end, you still want to be my partner." Shut up, you idiot. Nami has had enough of this idiot. Nami turned her back to the iron cage and made her own bow. I don't want to become like you pirates who trample on life. Buggy the clown smiled instead of being angry. That's it. Anyone who fools me, Captain Buggy, will die. You guys, come on. Facing the surging pirates, Nami looked desperate. After all, she was just a weak thief. Are you going to die? Damn it, Nami, run. Luffy's veins popped out and he struggled continuously, twisting into rubber. Unfortunately, he was trapped by ropes and iron cages and had no choice but to do anything. At this time, the fat guy who just rushed in suddenly appeared in front of Nami. Seal in seconds. Fire-style great fireball technique. The flames burned, and the pirate's body was directly submerged in the fire. The aroma of barbecue came in the air. This time the fireball was even more powerful. Ah, water. What's going on? What are you doing, Pancake? As the flames went out, the fat pirate looked at Nami with tears in his eyes. This high-spirited look, this money-obsessed look, and his iconic orange hair. Kong recognized this guy right away. He just couldn't bear to acknowledge him. Boom. Kong released the transformation and showed an even more aggrieved expression. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, hugged Nami and cried bitterly. Nami, I finally met you. You don't know how miserable I have been during this time. How can I live without you? Without Nami's domineering fist, the Straw Hats are incomplete. No one can suppress this group of cheaters, let alone go to the Grand Line. Is it? Nami looked confused and didn't know what to say. He was saved on the line between life and death, but this person was still inexplicable. Could he be sick? And Luffy seemed to suddenly realize. It turns out to be Kong. I thought what was going on. Kong turned around. Shut up. Idiot Luffy. Do you think my clown Buggy is a vegetarian? Buggy felt that he was being ignored and was about to get angry. Three swordsman style. Demon Slayer. Zoro cut Buggy into pieces with a pretentious knife, and then he fell directly in front of the two of them without stopping. He looked back at Buggy, who fell to the ground with great curiosity. Zoro has learned about this guy's fruit ability from Kang. But he still wanted to chop him with a knife. He didn't believe that there was anyone who couldn't be killed by a chop. Kang complained. Idiot number 2. He didn't get lost. How strange. Zoro turned into a shark tooth. A-hole. How could I get lost? He turned to look at Luffy again and mocked. Hey, Luffy, you looked really embarrassed when you got into the cage. Luffy was stunned for a moment before he seemed to react. Hey, that's right, Zoro. Kang, let me out quickly. Chapter 11. Let's have a Pokémon battle. The fragmented body of Buggy the Clown is constantly suspended and reassembled, with a sarcastic smile on his face. A fledgling guy who doesn't even know what a pirate is actually fantasizes about being one piece. It's really hilarious. Watching Buggy recover again, beads of sweat rolled down Zoro and Nami's faces. A guy whose swordsmanship is completely ineffective. If he learns swordsmanship, how can I defeat him? Zoro was confused. Red nose. I'm going to beat you up. How dare you attack my navigator? Luffy said domineeringly as the beast came out of the cage. But, boom. What responded to her was Nami's iron fist of love. A-hole. Who asked you to make your own decision? I didn't say I wanted to join. Nami punched the straw hat idiot she had just rescued, and Luffy, who was a rubber man, had a big bump on his head. Kang covered his mouth and snickered. Finally someone could control Luffy. Ouch. It hurts. Nami, what are you doing? Luffy covered his head, pointed at Buggy and said. Then I'll fight him off, and you'll be my navigator, okay? Nami said angrily. Why are you making your own decisions? Can't you understand human language? I won't associate with pirates. I've been using you. Familiar recipe, familiar taste. This made Zoro look at Nami with a hint of pity. Damn, you actually ignore me. Buggy was furious and roared. Let them see what a real pirate is. Mochi, Cabaji. Okay, Captain Buggy, ×2. As Buggy's order was given, a guy wearing a lion's hood stood up, but after he stood up, he immediately cast a shadow. There is a big lion on his crotch. A lion is like an elephant, but its trunk is shorter. Buggy the Clown's pirate group are basically like circus members, so it makes sense to fight on a lion, right? The other guy was a unicycle rider. Cabaji stepped on the unicycle, took a leap, drew out the pirate scimitar, and rushed out at high speed. Two officers launched an attack on Luffy. Leave that red nose to me. After Luffy finished speaking, he started to warm up, completely ignoring the two leaders. Ding. Since you are a swordsman, your opponent is me. Zoro stopped Cabaji, his eyes filled with desire for victory. On the other side, Kang appeared behind Mochi with a teleportation technique and quickly formed a seal. Water-style water prison technique. Li Ji, wait, Gululu. A water ball directly wrapped Mochi, and Kang quickly carried Mochi away from the battlefield. Mochi's pet, the lion known as Li Ji, realized belatedly that his master had lost him, and he chased after him with a roar, as if to say, don't run. Give me back my emergency syrup. After leaving Buggy and Luffy's main battlefield, Kang turned to look at the giant lion, raised Mochi and made a stop motion. Stop. Lion Li Ji braked suddenly, sending puffs of smoke behind him. Roar. Kang lifted the water prison and threw Mochi back. Mochi gasped for air. Fortunately, he was good at water and could hold his breath long enough, otherwise he would have drowned. Apart from Cabaji, who competes with me for power, you are the first person to make me so embarrassed. Since you didn't kill me, you will regret it. I will let Li Ji tear you apart. Kang rolled his eyes at Mochi, who said harsh words, wondering where this guy got the courage. Stop talking nonsense. Let's have a Pokémon battle. Mochi was stunned. What is a Pokémon? Kang formed a seal and slapped the ground, causing curse seals to flow around. Psychic art. Dumb. The Dark Crow appeared, first looked around, and then flew to Kang's head. Dark Crow, today is your first battle. As your trainer, I am going to start training you. Dumb. Mochi stared blankly at Kang summoning a strange crow, and then he understood what Kang meant. You want to use this little one to challenge my niche. Ha ha ha. One person and one lion rolled on the ground, smiling brightly. Kang's face was gloomy. It seems that this guy still doesn't know why the flowers are so red. He appeared directly behind Mochi with a teleportation technique. Mochi was shocked. It's this trick again. Before the lion Li Ji could react, Kang led his master to move more than 10 meters away and gave him a beating. Then Kang said coldly, I'm telling you the rules now, do you listen? Ha ha. Wu Ting. Mochi nodded with a bruised nose and a swollen face, no longer daring to show off. You are a swordsman and I am a fish, so I can't do it if you don't listen. Mochi in the distance commands the lion. Liqui uses roar. Roar. A veritable roar of a lion came towards the Dark Crow with a gust of fishy wind. Even Kang, who was watching the show, instinctively covered his ears. But after shouting, Mochi fell into deep thought. The rules say you can't hit people, but how can Lakey attack the flying Murkrow? Just when Mochi was deep in thought, Kang's voice came. You learn quickly. I won't lose. Darkraven uses Tailwind. Stacking buff at the beginning is the basic common sense in battle. Mochi also looked serious, wanting to see what attack method Dark Crow would use. Dumb. Dumb. The dark crow flapped its wings and tilted its head. For some reason, Kong suddenly understood what dark crow meant. It says lousy won't. Then, Murkrow uses storm. Won't. Use bark. Dumb. Dumb. Use smoke. Dark crow's eyes lit up, and he puffed out a cloud of black smoke, directly covering the venue. The big lion was obviously panicked and looked at the black mist around him warily. Don't panic, Liji, use blowing air. Blow away the smoke. Ho. Cough cough cough. Huh. Ahem. Ahem. Liji spent a lot of effort to blow away the smoke, and his body was almost poisoned due to inhaling too much smoke. Don't give him a chance to breathe. Use strange light. Dumb. Dumb. As soon as he heard the cry, Kong knew something was going on. The dark crow's body flashed with white light, shooting out a flickering light. Lakey saw the light, and feline instinct made it pounce. Ray hits. Liji immediately fell into chaos, attacking and biting the surroundings in a daze, as if he was drunk. Mochi on the side gritted his teeth. What a weird ability, what a despicable guy. He actually knows Liji's hobbies. Kong chuckled. Take advantage of his illness and kill him. Well done Murkrow. Use your wings to attack. Dumb. The dark crow immediately flew towards the lion Licky, preparing to slap it hard. A flash of lightning. Wing attack. Peck. Claw strike. Kong continued to direct the dark crows to attack. And the chaotic niche doesn't even know which direction the attack is coming from. It can only be passively beaten. Finally, it looked at his anxious owner with madness in his eyes. When Mochi saw this, he panicked. Wake up, Liji. Don't forget our bond. I am Mochi, your good master. Maybe Mochi's voice was familiar, or maybe the skill effect ended, and Lion Licky's claws didn't drop, and finally stopped in the air. Lakey is awake. Licky. Well done. Take advantage of the moment. Use tear. No. Dark Crow uses Yan Wei to add lightning to escape. Dumb. Roar. When Dark Crow heard that he was running away, he immediately pulled himself up, but was still hit by Liji's claws and flew out instantly. Damn it. Murkrow. Kong hugged Dark Crow, feeling heartbroken. Is there really too much of a level difference? Haha. It's still 100 years before your stinky crow can win my niche. Mochi Akimbo laughed. Yeah, while Mochi was feeling proud, Kang's voice came from behind. Wind escape great breakthrough. Itachi's template has 5 chakra attributes. Fire, water, wind, yin, and yang. Kong used the unskilled wind attribute ninjutsu for the first time. After all, he had a lot of fun today. A storm swept across, and the man and the lion were swept up into the sky by the strong wind and swept away into the distance. Haha, Nikki, we won. Roar. Although he was defeated by Kong, the man and the lion in the air hugged each other affectionately. They were immersed in the joy of victory. Chapter 12 Nami boarded the pirate ship. In addition to Kong, Zoro also ended the battle early. In the original book, Zoro was able to kill Baji instantly despite being injured, not to mention that he is intact now. It's just that Zoro kept frowning while watching the battle between Luffy and Buggy, as if he was thinking about some major life event. As for Luffy's battlefield, Kong didn't even think about it. After all, the 4 emperors' battles were all point to finish. Kong walked towards Zoro and watched the show with him. Kong, do you think there is any ability that allows me to kill enemies that cannot be killed with a knife? Zoro asked. Domineering. Kong said without thinking. Domineering. What is that? Zoro heard this word for the first time. Kong continued. Armed Haki is said to be an attack that is similar to attaching energy. It probably attaches the essence to an object, and the attack contains belief. I don't know the details, but I know that this thing can break the ability of most fruits. Kong thought for a while. But against an enemy like Buggy, even domineering power may not be effective. I think it will be useless even if the strongest swordsman comes. This fruit seems to be invincible to slashing attacks, but you can use non-slashing moves. Zoro was heartbroken. After talking for a long time, he still couldn't solve Buggy's problem after learning the sword. However, he was very interested in domineering and asked. Do you know how to learn domineering? I don't know about this. I'm just a fisherman. Kong thought for a while and found that he really didn't know. Zoro glanced at Kong with disgust. It sounds like it's true. Who doesn't know how to talk? Bragging. What does your look mean? Do you want to fight? Liu Kai swordsman. Who's afraid of whom? Damn it, you fisherman. Nami looked at Luffy and Buggy, then at Chicken and Zoro. She covered her face and murmured, are these guys really pirates? What am I doing? I accidentally looked too fascinated. Nami suddenly woke up and realized what she was going to do. Seeing Nami disappear, Kong used a substitute technique, leaving Zoro with a confused look on his face. A bunch of idiots, let's fight slowly. Just as Nami was counting the small coins, Kong stretched out his sinful hand, and Nami dodged in an instant. Nami, who is obsessed with wealth, actually has a bonus to agility while holding a treasure box. Nami protected her chest, and when she got up, she found that it was Kong who was behaving strangely, and she immediately dropped her guard. UB******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* otherwise, I want you to look good. Kong looked at his hands and then at Nami's airport, lost in thought. He took out 100,000 belly from his pocket and threw it to Nami. Nami took Bailey and was stunned. So upright. Kong put away the remaining banknotes and pointed at the treasure in Nami's hand. The meaning was self-evident. This is my treasure. What do you want to do? Nami looked at Chi Kong warily. Chi Kong looked at Nami with a half smile and said. Hey, Nami, you are not our navigator. What does our loot have to do with you? Nami brings out the characteristics of women to the fullest. I don't care. What I stole is mine. Chi Kong was speechless after saying this. Is there any royal method? Oh, a pirate or a thief, that's fine. Then I'll kill you now. I'm a pirate, Chi Kong threatened. Nami disagreed. You won't kill me, your eyes are wrong. And don't we share weal and woe? Nami was also panicked and stammered. She had seen the fickleness of pirates, and she didn't know what to do. The wealth in her hands is worth 10 million belly, and with the money she has saved over the years, she is not far away from buying the village, and she does not want to give up this piece of meat. She has waited too long for this day. Nami, why don't you join our pirate group? From now on, we will take care of all our money. Chi Kong issued an invitation on Luffy's behalf. Who wants to be a pirate? Nami rolled his eyes and said, I told your captain that what I hate most is pirates. But we are not that kind of pirates. Chi Kong directly interrupted Nami and said seriously. You can understand that we are an adventure group formed for our dreams. We pledge our lives to help you solve a problem, so that you can be our navigator. Is that okay? Nami was stunned. Solve the problem. Use your life. She instantly thought of the dragon pirates. But she soon shook her head. In her heart, the power of the Murlocs was invincible. The physique of fishmen is 10 times that of humans, and it can reach 20 times in water. How could they survive the fight and die? Nami's eyes rolled. Okay, I'll join you. This money is the employment fee, do you have any objection? After hearing this, Chi Kong knelt on the ground and burst into tears. I finally waited for you, but fortunately I didn't give up. I don't have to be their nanny anymore. Finally someone takes care of these idiots. I can fish with peace of mind. You won't get lost again. Someone's cooking. God has mercy on you. Ooh. Nami. Nami looked at this scene with dark streaks all over his head. This guy can change at any time. He was serious just now, but now he looks like this. She murmured. What the hell is this? A bunch of brainless guys. She finally chose to give in and sneak away when the time was right. As for what would happen to the Straw Hat Pirates, she could only say she was sorry. Rubber rockets. Just wait for me. Buggy said his bold words and disappeared into the sky. After defeating Buggy, the entire town held a grand banquet for the Straw Hat Pirates. It's a party. Luffy laughed loudly and said. You are such good people. I have decided. I will leave half of my wealth to help you rebuild your home. Nami turned into fangs. What? Are you crazy? Luffy, I don't agree. This is my money. Luffy twisted his lips and raised his hands. I am the captain. You must listen to me. Nami turned to look at Zoro who was sleeping, and shouted to Chi Kong. Damn fisherman. Stop Luffy quickly. Chi Kong raised the fishing rod. Fishermen will never be in the Air Force. Luffy's eyes gleamed and he shouted excitedly. Wow. It's a dog-headed fish. Chi Kong. You are so awesome. However, a shadow suddenly appeared behind him. Nami raised his fists and burst out in anger. You bastards. Ding, ding, ding. Luffy and Kai Kong fell to the ground. Zoro smelled of alcohol, turned over and went back to sleep, completely unaware that he had a big bump on his head for no reason. Perhaps thinking of his hometown, Nami still left 5 million belly in the end. Damn it, are you pirates? This was Nami's angry voice. Chapter 13 Money Obsessed Nami. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Goodbye, Luffy. Goodbye, Straw Hats. With this affectionate farewell, the people of Orange Town gathered on the shore to see off the 4 warriors who were about to set sail. At this time, Buggy's car, the Baikudop, has been temporarily requisitioned by the Straw Hats. Zoro, the former bounty hunter, is using his unique and skillful technique to tie up a group of captured pirates like rice dumplings. He is already familiar with this job. Chi Kong pointed to the pirate and assured Nami. If these pirates are sold, they should be worth a lot of money. It's enough to make up for your losses. Nami frowned when she heard this, and she raised doubts. But without them, how would we sail this ship? Facing Nami's question, Chi Kong smiled mysteriously and turned to Luffy, who was looking silly and happy. Luffy, look, my clone technique is extraordinary, but it's a unique skill. Since Nami is one of my own, I'll show it off a little. Before he finished speaking, Chi Kong jumped into the sea with a flick of his sleeves and began to form seals. Luffy's eyes glowed with brilliance. Ninjutsu. Is ninjutsu coming? It's a clone technique. As Luffy shouted, water-style water separation technique. In order to last, Chi Kong directly divided 1/5 of the chakra and summoned 2 clones. Each water avatar can invest 1/10 of the chakra of the main body, and has 1/10 of the strength of the main body. This is the limitation of the technique. After all, the water clone is just a C-rank ninjutsu. The water on the sea surface rose up and gradually turned into 2 water figures. As the water solidified, it finally turned into 2 figures that were almost identical to Chi Kong. They rose up from the waves and landed steadily on the Biku. On the deck of the dock. Although the water clone has many shortcomings, on the sea, the water clone's chakra consumption is smaller, and its combat power is no weaker than that of the shadow clone. Looking at the scene in front of him, Kong nodded with satisfaction. In this way, the manpower problem is temporarily solved. Kong smiled, returned to position C, and started throwing the pole. Awesome, awesome. The clone technique. This is the clone technique. Luffy shouted, jumping around on the boat like a monkey. His excitement was palpable. Ninjas are really scary, but is this really ninjutsu? Although it was not the first time Zoro saw him, he still had deep doubts about Chicken's ability, which he called ninjutsu. Nami hesitated. The strength of this group of pirates is really weird, but compared with the fishmen. 2 days later, Kong, who was fishing on the deck, discovered a familiar scenery. We've arrived in Shirts Town. Nami is really reliable. Of course. Ha ha ha. Luffy drank the juice, unknowingly thinking that he was complimenting him. Don't go. Let Nami and I do the work this time. But before that, I have to do some ideological work for these guys. Kong said, his eyes swept over the bound pirates, and a meaningful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. I agree. My eyes. I want to surrender. I won't be a pirate anymore. Me too. A group of pirates ran to the deck like crazy, waiting for the ship to dock. It was hard to imagine that they were a group of extremely vicious pirates. Kong lifted Arida's transformation effect. He was very satisfied with the psychological construction this time. Kong is already familiar with the transformation of Alrida's image. Every expression of Alrida and every detail of her body are lingering in Kang's mind. This time he didn't even retching, and he still had some unfinished thoughts. Human beings' adaptability is really terrible. Later, Kong turned into Koby and came to branch 153 with Nami. Nami is already used to Kang's abilities. Hey, you won't become like me and do some weird things, will you? After hearing this, Kong said righteously, how is that possible? I am a good and upright young man. What are you thinking? The transformation technique is just a chakra simulation technique. It will be cancelled directly by external force or using ninjutsu. What you said is simply impossible. Kong explained. But Nami didn't believe this. You lied to me. Your eyes are wrong. Nami changed the subject. Actually, that's not impossible. If I change my image once, I'll only charge 100,000 Baileys. You are the devil, Nami. You are worse than a prostitute for free. Kong didn't expect that someone would be so shameless, letting others prostitute themselves and charging a fee. The two came to the Marine base while quarreling with each other. Lieutenant Colonel Marine of Branch 153 twitched his lips when he saw Koby. He recognized it was Kong. Because that's a feng shui fish, Koby. Oh, I'm sorry, you know me, I can't help myself when I see water. Kong took back the fishing rod angrily. There are only 5 million Baileys in the branch now, is that okay? Lieutenant Colonel Marine tried to ask. Upon hearing Bailey, Nami's eyes turned into the shape of money. After a long haggling session, the lieutenant colonel turned into a pig liver-faced person, which was worse than eating shit. In the end, Nami walked away happily with 5.156 million belly. Kong stayed and talked with the lieutenant colonel for a while, about Colonel Menka and the Black Cat pirates. So many pirates actually gave such a small amount of money, Marine is really evil. Nami said indignantly. They went to town to purchase some supplies. For this purchase, Nami carried large and small bags, and even refused Kang's help. This gave Kong a bad feeling. Nami took out the supplies and placed them neatly on the shelves in the cabin. After everything was done, Nami said, you pirates are really interesting. If you don't want such a big ship, you have to build your own ship. So where are we going to build our own ship? That's Shanks' guy. I don't want his ship. But I think it's best to find a chef first. Luffy said while eating fried rice. Bang. Luffy, are you saying that the orange fried rice I made is not delicious? It only costs 5,000 belly per serving. Nami said, making an account in a small notebook. Luffy's remaining funds. 530,000. Luffy covered his head. But the smell is really weird. Zoro said from the side. Nami. Get me a bottle of wine. Nami looked obsessed with money and said flatteringly. My sincere favor is 10,000 Baileys. Zoro remaining funds. 570,000. You opened the canteen to the pirates, aren't you going too far? Nami. Kong said dissatisfiedly as he swung his fishing rod. It cost money to eat and drink, and he was speechless. Why don't you eat your own grilled fish? Otherwise, stop talking nonsense. Nami took Bailey out of the public fund's treasure chest and put it into his private treasure chest. He looked like a money-crazed man and thoughtfully put a lock on the canteen. I'm just a navigator. There is no charge for sailing because you have paid. The other items are just add-ons, just a small business. We need a chef. ×3. Chapter 14 Usopp appears. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Donghai Silawabu Village, offshore. Is this the place where Little Buggy said there are rich people? This was Luffy, his tone was heavy. How can you agree to a big ship for a small one? You are the only one who would think of such a deal. Luffy. Zoro's voice was also extremely deep. Luffy and Zoro were communicating on the deck, looking extremely serious, and it felt like their style had changed. But the quarrel behind them made them sweat. Luffy. Zoro. How much food did you two bastards eat? Why do I owe 500,000 belly now? If you don't have money, please don't put it on my account. And Nami, why should I care about their food expenses? In short, if you don't want 500,000 belly, it will cost you your life. You have to agree, I will wipe my neck immediately. Kong was carrying the fish bucket and was furious. He had given all the money to Nami, but he still wanted to squeeze other people's pocket money. Nami looked at Kong and his face darkened. You want to default on your debt. You are the only one with money here. If not you, who should I look for? Is it easy for me to do some business after all my hard work? Then Nami's tone changed and became more powerful. If you don't have enough money, you can sell the fish. Didn't you catch the golden koi king? Mortgage it to me, we'll cancel it all. Nami, don't even think about it. I want to raise this fish. This is my trophy. Kong turned into Arvida with a bang, sitting on the deck and letting Nami verbally attack her, as steady as an old dog. Xiluobu village, on the hillside near the sea. As Nami paid back the money, several people landed on the island. What should I do? Captain Usopp, it's really a pirate ship. Usopp looked at the huge pirate ship below and fell into silence. I just wanted to say, who is where? Zoro looked at the cliff above and said. Usopp stood up tremblingly, pointed at himself, and coaxed. Hey, you guys, I advise you to abandon this village, otherwise my 80 million subordinates will not stand idly by. What, is this true? That's amazing. Are you a big pirate? Luffy believed Usopp's lie, turned into a cannonball like crazy, and rushed towards Usopp, drooling from his mouth. You must be rich. Give me the meat. Luffy hasn't eaten for a day. Now all he can think about is meat. And money is equated with meat. Huh, meat. Do you eat? Usopp was stunned, showing an exaggerated and frightened face, and shouted to his little brother. Run. Green pepper head, onion head, hey, you guys. Usopp found that the three little ones had run far away without knowing when. Where is your treasure? Luffy grabbed Usopp and asked. Idiot. This is all fake no matter how you look at it. Zoro complained. Luffy looked at the top of the mountain, curled his lips and said dissatisfied, what? It turns out it's a lie. For a moment, the three people below didn't know how to complain. Luffy pointed at Usopp and said angrily, hey, you guy, why did you lie to me? Kong used a teleportation technique to separate the two people. Okay, Luffy, stop making trouble. Kong knows that Usopp is a future crew member, and whether he can get a good ship depends on his face. Kong stepped forward. Captain Usopp, I have long admired your name. Usopp's legs were still shaking, and Kaido stammered, hey, do you know me? It is said that Captain Usopp had 30 million Baileys when he went to sea. He is a famous pirate in the East China Sea. It was rare for someone to cooperate with his bragging. Usopp raised his nose and said, that's a thing of the past. Now my bounty is close to 1 billion. In fact, my most proud achievement is shooting through the enemy's flag from a long distance, which made the world scared. Usopp opened his mouth to come, but this made Kong stunned. Has this mouth been opened? No wonder Hamie said in his previous life that all the bullshit Usopp boasted about Kaya came true. Usopp put his hands on his hips, showing a cold aura. Why are you scared? Now that you know how powerful I am, why don't you leave? Don't leave, Luffy shouted from the side. Usopp's eyes narrowed slightly. What exactly do you want to do? Do you want to make the great Captain Usopp angry? I won't leave until I get the ship, Luffy said firmly. What ship? What are you doing here? Usopp asked confused. Ahem, Captain Usopp, we are also pirates. Now we want to find a rich man in your village to exchange a ship. Just trade a larger one for a smaller one. Kong pointed to the ship behind him and stated the purpose of his trip. You pirates are here to find Kaya. No. Usopp heard this and immediately took out his slingshot. He was so stubborn. At this time, Luffy's cold tone came. Hey, a battle between pirates requires your life to be on the line. Although you are very interesting. But I don't allow you to take action against my friends. Luffy's momentum directly suffocated Usopp, and he gained a better understanding of pirates. Me, I actually have the disease of, will die in a duel. Ah. Usopp fell to the ground instantly, hit a rock, and was bleeding profusely, actually tomato juice. Luffy was shocked when he saw this. Ah, is there still such a disease? What should I do? Kong, he is foaming at the mouth. Zoro shook his head and sighed. People are so fragile, another one fell to death. Nami took the first aid kit and hurried over to check it out. Kang's mouth twitched. Usopp was so good at pretending to be dead that he fooled everyone else. Captain Usopp. Don't eat Captain Usopp. The three little ones who came back cried one after another and stopped in front. They thought that Nami was going to murder Usopp. What's there to eat? I'm saving him. Nami was speechless. Nonsense. You just wanted to eat Captain Usopp. That's right. You are such a vicious woman, I don't believe you. We are not afraid of you, Obasan. Dominatrix. ×3. Nami raised his fists and was furious. Obasan. Dominatrix. What stupid things are you talking about? Bang bang bang. After 3 sounds, the 3 little ones collapsed to the ground, and the Usopp pirates were wiped out. Okay, Usopp, get up. We are not bad people. Tears are flowing out. Are you moved? Kong said speechlessly. After some explanations, especially when Luffy mentioned his father, the two of them immediately became familiar with each other. Let's go. Let's eat. I haven't eaten for a long time. It's easy to talk about. I'm treating you today. If you tell me Usopp's name in the future, you can get a discount. With that said, Luffy and Usopp walked side by side toward the village, acting like good friends. Chapter 15 Baji Claude. Silab Village, Restaurant. If you are looking for a partner. Usopp pointed at himself. I can be your captain. No, ×3. Don't refuse so quickly. Usopp felt uncomfortable instantly. Hey, Zoro, why don't you refuse? Luffy pouted. Zoro has now developed a habit. Don't talk while eating, just keep your head down and cook quickly. Do you think I'm timid? Usopp asked dissatisfied. Kang raised his head and said seriously, Kaido. I think you are very brave. You stood up for the village and boasted something that even Luffy believed. This is the embodiment of the will of fire. To be fair, he really admired Usopp. Although he was timid and afraid of getting into trouble, he led the Straw Hats to save the day from desperate situations. However, after Kang finished speaking, he looked at the empty plate and burst into anger. Idiot Luffy. This is my food. Kang also started to work hard. Protect the food and stay away from Luffy. Only when it reaches the belly is it your own. After listening to Kang's words, Usopp put his hands on his hips and looked like I'm so awesome. HMPH. Even if you say that, I won't be happy. Suddenly Usopp looked at his watch. That's right. It's time. Goodbye everyone. After saying that, Usopp ran away. Woo. Goodbye, Usopp. Thank you for inviting me to dinner. You are a good person. Luffy, who was full of oil, stretched out a fork and waved his hand. Eat and drink enough. Luffy announced loudly. Let's go. Missy's house. Trade ships. Everyone stood up, but was stopped by the boss. Dear guests, you haven't paid yet. Luffy was stunned and asked in confusion. Did Usopp forget to pay? The boss looked like a fool, as if to say, you actually believe a braggart. Helpless, everyone looked at Nami. You still owe me money. B*******************. D. So, Nami took out a bucket from the treasure box that she carried. Suddenly golden light shone. This golden koi king is for you. The market price is 3 million belly, you can give me the rest. Nami looked at the boss with a money-obsessed look, ready to spend more money. What? When? No, don't, Nami, please. Kang panicked. Why did Xiaojun get into Nami's hands? At this moment, Nami turned into a devil and ordered. Luffy, Zoro, we agreed. Don't do anything yet. Do you have money? When Luffy and Zoro heard this, they held Kang on the left and right and ran out. I'm sorry, Kang. ×2. Xiao Jin, how can I live without you? Kang howled in pain. His voice faded away. Soon after, the three of them brought Kang to a mansion. Luffy and his men broke into a house without authorization. Kang took out his fishing rod and threw it out angrily. Usopp was very surprised by everyone's arrival. At this time, a butler wearing glasses appeared after hearing the sound. After knowing the cause, the butler angrily scolded Usopp. Please leave. And my friends over there, this is a private lake and fishing is not allowed. Crow spoke coldly. Let's go, Luffy, my friends. I'm telling you a joke. Usopp's face was gloomy, and he left the scene angrily. After walking a few steps, he found that Luffy and the others were not following him. When he turned around, he saw that none of them had moved. Hey, what are you doing? We'll talk about the boat later. Can it be done? I'll find a way. Kang, who was fishing, took out a yellowed wanted notice and slowly opened it. Does this person look familiar? Usopp looked at the portrait that appeared on the wanted poster and was stunned for a moment. Isn't this Butler Krabaddle? Kang looked at Crow with a smile on his face. Hakuji Crow, the captain of the Black Cat Pirates, he is scheming, ruthless, and will do anything to achieve his goals. He has killed marines, massacred villages, and it is even said that he has the talent of Longyong and is a pedophile. Not even the pigs in the village are spared. After hearing this, Crow's face was expressionless, as if he was not talking about him. Kang continued. It is rumored that he was arrested and executed by Marine 3 years ago, and the guy who executed him became Colonel Menka of Shields Town. What a coincidence, I accidentally broke Menka's hypnosis. I also know that Captain Crow faked his death to escape. After Kang finished speaking, he looked at Kaya. 3 years ago, Kaya covered her mouth as if she couldn't believe it. Impossible. Krabaddle can't be this vicious pirate. Kaya looked at Crow. Butler Krabaddle, tell me, this is not true. 3 years ago, is it really such a coincidence? It was 3 years ago that the housekeeper was attacked by pirates and came to Kaya's home. After 3 years of getting along, Kaya thinks she understands the housekeeper very well. He is conscientious, sunny and handsome. Now they actually tell themselves that this kind butler is a pirate. Is the love and concern for myself all fake? In response to Miss Kaya's question, Crow was silent for a short time, and the lens reflected the light, making it difficult to see his expression. After a moment, he raised his glasses with a strange gesture. Usopp, there must be a limit to lying. Don't think you can spread rumors by just drawing a picture of my bounty. If you want to forge this kind of thing, I can do it at any time. Take your friends and get out of the manor quickly. This way I can forget the past. Crow cleared up the relationship with a few words, but then turned an army against him. Crow looked at Kang jokingly. Usopp's character couldn't be washed away here. This made Kang not know how to refute for a moment. If Kang doesn't do one thing, he won't stop doing the other. The eyes turn into Sharingan, the double Magatama rotates at high speed, and the Hypnosis Eye ability is activated. Crow is not Balloomber, and it is difficult for him to completely control this guy with Sharingan, so he chose a genjutsu that can break the defense, Naraku no Jutsu. It's hypnosis. Crow's subordinate Zango was also a hypnosis master, and he instantly realized Kang's methods. Immediately guard your mind, he said disdainfully. You want hypnosis me? Dream. In Crow's vision, he was being questioned by Kaya, Meili and others at this time, and they discovered Crow's true identity. This is what Crow fears most. But Crow was sitting on the lawn, pushing up his glasses constantly, with sweat dripping from his forehead. His psychological activity at this time was very intense. What's going on? How come you were suddenly discovered? No, I was hypnosis just now. Even though Crow had seen strong winds and waves, he was still shocked by this realistic scene. Compared with Zango's hypnosis spell, this is something completely different. My dream is about to come true. How could my plan fail? Fake. Fake. Break it for me. Crow's veins popped out. His powerful mental will directly cause the space to vibrate, but the NPCs constructed by genjutsu around him were completely unaware of it. In reality, Kang had sweat dripping from his forehead. As expected. Still too weak. Kang had expected it, but he was still shocked. Crow broke free from genjutsu in minutes. Is this the strength of the big pirate? The collision of the two power systems created sparks, and finally ended in Kang's slightly inferior failure. Chapter 16 Kidnapping Plan. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. In reality, Crow was sitting on the ground shaking. Suddenly he licked the blood from the corner of his mouth. After coming to his senses, he calmly took a few steps closer to Kaya. He pointed at Zoro and Kang and said, Miss Kaya, please allow me to ask someone to drive them away. Usopp's friends may also be a group of liars. At this time, Kaya also realized how she could believe this big talker. Usopp, although your fanciful stories are fun, but it is wrong to slander others. I want you to apologize to Butler Krabaddle immediately. Kaya's angry voice became a little weak. At this time, Luffy on the side said dissatisfied, no way. Kang got this reward order from Marine. How could it be a lie? Yes, Kaya, I saw Kang take it out from the Marine base with my own eyes. We even heard him tell the story of Crow and Monka. Nami also echoed. Nami couldn't bear that this poor girl was kept in the dark. Actually, it's easy to prove. Let me chop. If you don't die, you will be Crow. Zoro leaned against the tree and said little. Crow said calmly, killing people at every turn. Are you pirates? Sure enough, a pirate's son will definitely associate with pirates. Shut up. After hearing this, Usopp was instantly angry. I am proud that he is a brave sea warrior. My father is not someone you can insult. Usopp punched Crow. This is what Crow wants now, so he fell down and shouted, guard. Protect Miss Kaya. Drive them out. Upon hearing this, Luffy clapped his fists and smiled. Very good. If only it had been like this earlier. I'm going to beat you away. Crow. Everyone was at war with each other, and it looked like the war was about to break out. Stop. Kaya yelled. She was already in poor health and almost collapsed to the ground. Miss, are you okay? Upon seeing this, Crow immediately supported Kaya, his face full of concern. Kaya clutched her chest and gasped. Usopp, take your friends and leave. I don't want to see you again. Kaya, Usopp stuttered. Seeing Usopp's hesitation, she shouted again. Let's go. Usopp looked at Krabaddle or Crow, and Usopp said seriously to everyone, Luffy. Everyone, let's go. After Zoro heard this, he walked towards the door without looking back. He looked cool, but some people walked crookedly. But what should we do about this big bad guy? Luffy was very unhappy, but he was stupid and didn't want to make it difficult for Usopp. Nami patted Luffy. Let's leave first. Maybe Kang is really wrong. It's possible that he just looks similar. Kang tacitly did not deny what Nami said, it was just a delaying tactic. Kang wanted to take action, but Crow was very close to Kaya, and there was a vague threat. Damn it, I'm so angry. All I need to do is beat him away. Luffy collapsed on the ground and began to roll around. Hey, Kang, did you use ninja methods just now? I think you and the housekeeper don't look right. As a woman, Nami is very observant. Kang nodded and did not deny it. That's right, he is very strong. He broke my genjutsu. Maybe I can't beat him either. When Nami heard this, she panicked instantly. Is he so strong? She only wanted money with the straw hats, but she didn't want to lose her life. Luffy got up from the ground and vowed to Nami. No matter how powerful the enemy is, I will punch him away. Don't worry, Nami, leave the fighting to me. Hey, Kang, is Butler Krabaddle really Crow? Usopp on the side still seemed unable to believe it. That's right, Kang affirmed. Didn't you find that the way he held up his glasses was weird? As he said that, he made a gesture of pushing up his glasses again. Doesn't this posture look like? After another round of evidence from Kang, Usopp no longer had any doubts. Then what should we do? In this case, Kaya's situation is not very dangerous. Damn it, no one believes me now. Usopp was a little distressed and kept playing the crying wolf game, and finally got his comeuppance. Zoro on the side looked disdainful. Can't we just hack him to death? We are pirates, not marines, why do we think so much? He felt as if he was the only one who had stepped into the role of a pirate. I agree. What swordsman Lu Kai said is right. Chi Kong also agreed. He also thinks so, he must change his passiveness into activeness. But, we have to ensure the safety of Usopp's fiancé. Chi Kang's words made Usopp blush instantly. Fiancé. Ah, do you think so too? Hate, we haven't reached this point yet. Ignoring Usopp's duplicity, Chi Kong continued. Then, in order to prevent Crow from jumping over the wall, let me follow Usopp to the villa and take Kaya away without anyone noticing. I'm a professional at this job. Then you guys swarm me and KO directly. How about that? Chi Kong revealed his plan. Luffy's eyes lit up. Kidnapping. I want to go too. I haven't tried it yet. Luffy's focus is always weird. Boom. Shut up, Luffy. You're not a ninja. Nami directly launched the Iron Fist of Love. After sanctioning Luffy, Nami rubbed his chin and began to express his suggestions. Then Kaya's villa will probably be gone. I think it can be like this. Everyone discussed the plan. Usopp suddenly knelt down in front of everyone. Thank you, Luffy. Everyone. We must deal with Crow. This guy will definitely bring disaster to Kaya and the village. Early the next morning, Villa Kaya. The night was dark and windy, and two figures quietly escaped. You don't really want money, right? Why do I always feel that Nami's eyes are wrong when she makes suggestions? Usopp crawled while diverting his attention. He was thinking about whether it was right to trust a group of strangers for just one day. By the way, Chi Kong, can you climb a tree? If not, I'll go up first. I'm giving you a hand. No, I understand. Chi Kang's voice came to Usopp's ears. Usopp looked at the wall next to him, his eyes widened. At this time, Chi Kong was walking directly onto the wall in a very unscientific way. Newton shook his head after looking at it. Chi Kong, do you sell these shoes? Chi Kong complained. This is obviously not a problem with shoes. And you won't invent one yourself. No, what are you paying attention to? Do business first. B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Kang said angrily. Usopp slapped his head. Why didn't I think of inventing a prop that can walk on walls? This seems promising. Hurry up and work, otherwise I will do it myself. Kang's voice came from the window. Usopp knew he couldn't hold on any longer, so he knocked on the window helplessly. Ding, ding, Kaya, Usopp is here. Kaya, it's me, Usopp. Wake up, open the window. Waves of familiar voices woke up the half-asleep girl in confusion. Usopp. Kaya was overjoyed at first, but when she thought about Usopp slandering others out of thin air, she became worried again. In the end, she couldn't let go of her spiritual companion who kept telling her stories, so she put on her coat and approached the window. She had no idea what was facing her. Chapter 17 Crow's True Face. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. With the windows open. HMPH. Usopp. Go and talk to Cravatar. Before Kaya finished speaking, a figure quietly appeared behind Kaya. The cold light of kunai flickered on Kaya's neck. Miss Kaya, please don't make any noise. My name is Cool D. Kong, and I am a pirate. Unfortunately, you have been kidnapped. Kaya wanted to scream but Kong directly covered her mouth. She looked at Usopp in horror, full of disbelief. Her eyes seemed to say, "Why, Usopp?" Seeing this, Usopp gritted his teeth. "I'm sorry. Kaya, you will understand my difficulties." Soon after, in Crow's room, Chloro adjusted his glasses and tidied the dusty suitcase. I originally wanted to wait a few more days. Zhang Gao, don't let me down. He had prepared everything, but his plan could not keep up with the changes. The sudden arrival of the Straw Hats made him lose his sense of proportion and he could only advance his plan. At this time, a goat-headed monster broke into Crow's room. This was another housekeeper of Kaya's family Meili. Oops, Krabattle, Miss Kaya was captured by Usopp. At this time, Meili held a piece of paper and hurriedly found Crow. There is also crooked handwriting written on it. One day, the eastern suburbs forest. 100 million Baileys. A ship. Don't call the police. You don't want Miss Kaya to lose parts, right? There is also a lifelike skull and crossbones flag of the Usopp pirates at the back. I didn't expect Usopp to be such a person. I really misjudged him. Pirates are really a bunch of greedy and cunning bastards. Meili was talking to herself, not noticing Crow's gloomy face, and continued urging. Krabattle, don't be stunned. We need to raise funds quickly and save Miss Kaya first. Puff. Before the sheep steward could finish speaking, a cold light flashed across his face. Meili covered her chest and looked at Crow with surprise in her eyes. What you said is really unpleasant. It turned out that Crow had already put on the weapon in the suitcase. The gloves made of 10 slender scimitars are the famous weapon of Captain Crow of the Black Cat Pirates, a Spada Cat Claw. I will be the owner of this villa soon, so there is no need to waste that money. Crow stopped pretending at all. Anyway, as long as Kaya praises hypnosis, he will get all this and start a stable life. Meili fell to the ground with blood pouring from her chest. Before falling to the ground, he fully understood all this. Usopp didn't lie. Crow held his suitcase and greeted the villagers like a gentleman, and his heartfelt smile did not seem to be fake at all. Whenever he sees those familiar faces, the waves deep in his heart will gradually calm down. 3 years ago, he was tired of the pirate life and longed to return to ordinary life, hoping to spend the rest of his life in the peaceful West Lobu village. But a pirate is a pirate. Once he started his career as a pirate, there was no turning back. For this reason, Crow did not hesitate to operate it for 3 years, changed its appearance, and gained a brand new identity. As the saying goes, knowing people, knowing faces, but not knowing hearts. The villagers of Zailuobu had no idea that Crow had just sacrificed a teammate. It wasn't until he stepped into the suburbs that Crow's face instantly darkened. After today, you can live a peaceful life, right? I will never allow the plan to be ruined. Anyone who stands in my way will die. In the forest in the eastern suburbs, next to a quiet lake. Kaya was tied up by Usopp with tape on her mouth. She was not scared, but was a little sad. Usopp couldn't even lift his head with such staring eyes. Kaya, I'm sorry. I will prove it. I did it for your own good. Woo. At %hash. Kaya whined angrily. It seems to be saying, please. Don't do it for me. What a scumbag. You still want to poo me. Kang was sitting by the lake fishing, and the fish bucket next to him was filled with aquatic plants and stones. Miss Kaya, calm down. Don't be afraid, this is just an ordinary kidnapping, we have no malicious intentions. Kang's gentle voice turned out to be very credible. But, I want a ship that belongs to my own pirate group. If you have it, I'll let you go. Luffy put a scar sticker on at some point with a smirk on his face. Miss Kaya, I only want 100 million belly. When the ransom arrives, I will let you go. Nami wore an eye patch, one eye full of belly. Then I want a famous sword. Zoro thought it was wishing princess and also interjected. You bastards. Stop pretending and be real. Usopp yelled from the side. As soon as this group of people opened their mouths, the serious atmosphere disappeared. Usopp, have you fished all this lake? If you eat fish, can you stop throwing the fish bones away? Kang took out a lump of black substance from his hair, made a disgusted sound, and swung the pole wildly. Not long after, Kang's reconnaissance ninjutsu was triggered. Guys, he's coming. Crow carried the suitcase and adjusted his glasses. The lenses reflected the chilly light that made people feel heart-stopping. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue to live a stable life. Killing you here will just complete the closed loop of my plan. Crow said this sincerely. If he did it in a villa or a village, his character would most likely collapse. But in this wilderness, he could just leave his death to the pirates. Hey, you are so polite, you really don't need it. Dealing with you here is what Usopp asked for. Luffy, the idiot, is also polite Kaido. Crow's veins popped out, and he was a little angry at Luffy's sincere answer. What stupid guys. So are you ready to die? With that said, Crow put on his weapon without hesitation and shouted murderously, how did you guys become pirates? Woo, why, Crabatar. A delicate voice broke the silence, and the voice came from Kaya who had been untied by Usopp. Crow looked at Kaya, adjusted his glasses and responded coldly, can't you see it yet? Miss Kaya, do you have to let me say it? No, tell me, this is all a lie. You are lying, aren't you? Butler Crabatle. Kaya's tears fell like pearls. This guy who accompanied her and regarded her as a family member has been lying to him. UB******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** shook his head disdainfully and looked at his watch. Don't be sad, miss. You can be reunited with your poor parents in a while. It's almost time. The village will know about the pirate attack soon. Kaya's pupils shrank suddenly and she looked at Crow in disbelief, and her breathing was not smooth. Could it be that parents are also? Stop irritating Kaya. Damn it. Usopp fired the lead bullet, but was stopped by an outstretched arm. Chapter 18 Their respective opponents. It was Luffy who stopped the projectile. At this time, his face was gloomy and terrifying, as if he was on the verge of breaking out. Usopp, take Kaya away. I will fight this guy off myself. I object. This is different from what we agreed. Luffy, didn't we agree to siege? Nami immediately objected. Luffy ignored it and stared at Crow. Then I'll go fishing at the beach. There's something wrong with this fishing spot. After Kong finished speaking, he ran away with the bucket. Garp couldn't take back what Luffy decided. I've wiped the knife several times, and here's the result. Come on, Luffy. After saying that, Zoro was going back to the village to find a tavern to drink. Crow was angry. A group of new pirates ignored him. Has the sea forgotten me? What did I say? No one can leave here alive. Crow directly chose to sneak attack Kong, who was running away with the bucket. So fast. Be careful, Kong. Nami, who was still supporting Kaya, exclaimed and reminded. Kong walked calmly without looking back. He had a partner he could absolutely trust. Just as Kong thought. Hey, your opponent is me. Crow was stopped by Luffy. If you want to attack my companions, defeat me first. While the fierce battle between Luffy and Crow was in full swing, three little ones came to the forest in a hurry. They shouted breathlessly. It's bad, Captain Usopp. A cat-faced pirate ship has appeared on the coastline. Go and have a look. Usopp's expression changed suddenly when he heard this. He thought of Crow's words. What could it be? It can't be possible. He looked around. Zoro and Kong had long disappeared, and there was only Nami next to him, whom he even despised. Kaya, listen to me. I'm going to protect the village. Find a place to hide. Their target must be you. Usopp directed his younger brother again. Onion, take Nami and Kaya to our secret base. Protect them. Nami, I leave Kaya to you. Before he finished speaking, Nami's devilish voice came. If you want me to take care of these 3 little carrot heads and a sickly girl, I'll give you 1 million belly, otherwise there's no need to talk. Ah, okay. This little money is nothing to me. Usopp also opened his mouth. Usopp, do you really want to go? Kaya asked in a panic. Usopp was very determined. Yes. As a man, I want to protect the village, and I also want to fight. I am the bravest warrior on the sea. If his feet weren't trembling, his words would be really convincing. Usopp, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have doubted you. Kaya apologized somewhat guiltily. Now is not the time to talk about this. I will tell you the story of Captain Usopp versus 1 billion pirates. After saying that, Usopp left without looking back. Sister Kaya, Nami Obasan, come with us quickly. ×3. Boom, boom, boom. Who do you think is Obasan? Do you want to die? You brat. After Nami punished the kid, he complained, damn it. Why are those 2 guys running so fast? North Shore. A fashionable man, stepping on the bow of the boat. He is wearing a long trench coat, love sunglasses and a mustache. This is the vice captain of the Black Cat Pirates, Hypnosis Master Django. Hurry up. If Captain Crow's order cannot be fulfilled, we will die. Zhangao commanded the crew with sweat on his forehead. The plan changed at a moment's notice, and the captain didn't give him any time to prepare. Laozi will also fake his death to escape. Whoever wants to be a pirate can be taken as such. Zhangao thought to himself. But what am I going to do in the future? What can hypnosis do? Captain Zhangao, we found a fisherman on the shore, do you want to fire? The lookout hand conveyed the information he saw. Huh, didn't he run away when he saw the pirate ship? Zhangao was on the bow of the ship and also discovered a black spot on the edge of the cliff at the north shore. If it weren't for the sharp-eyed lookout, no one would have noticed this location. I think that person didn't seem to notice us, the lookout said again, silent in the picture of Kang's handsome fishing. In that case, let's go to the shore. It's just a dead man. Seeing this, Zhangao did not choose to fire a cannon to alert the snake. After all, it was robbery, and it was not good to make too much noise. Just listen, the lookout hands keep shouting. Wow, Sam, come here and take a look. This man actually caught a golden striped catfish. It's amazing. New fishing spot. Kang was holding a fish covered with golden cat pattern scales, and the fish was trembling constantly. With the improvement of his physique, he felt unprecedented satisfaction without the air force. The fish in this world are really novel. It's another new collection. I won't eat you. You just want Xiaowen. Xiaowen. Thank you so much. Around Kang, there was a barbecue grill with some common fish, and the sound of sizzling oil could be heard. Freshly caught and grilled, it's a fresh and delicious feast. Suddenly Kang thought of Nami and shuddered. I hope you are worthless. Without Xiaojun, I must take care of you. Go. Let's stay in the bucket for a while. I'll take you home later. Kang threw it away and continued fishing. At this time, a figure shuttled past. It stretched out its cat paw in front of Kang. Hey, give me the golden striped cat scale fish. I can keep your whole body. The person who came was suddenly a combatant of the Black Cat Pirates, Sam, one of the Catman brothers' skinny guy, with a bounty of 7 million Baileys. In addition to tearing enemies apart with his claws, his other hobby is raising all kinds of fish. Fishing. Freshly grilled. You really know how to enjoy it. Sam walked to the barbecue grill as if no one else was around, completely ignoring Kang, picked up a grilled horsetail and started eating. Bah, it tastes terrible. It's not as good as mine. After taking a bite, he threw it on the ground in disgust. He had no idea that Kang's face was already ashen. Kang reluctantly put the supreme quick rod in his sleeve and said coldly to Sam. You are the skinny guy of the Black Cat Pirates, right? I know you. You ate my fish. You interrupted my fishing again. You want to ask for my loot. You have violated all the taboos of fishing guys. Sam held his stomach and laughed. Hey, are you too obsessed with fishing? Can't you see what's going on below? Kang lifted the bucket and glanced below. At some point, a pirate ship stopped below. The cat-faced skeleton, you don't have to think twice to know which pirate group it belongs to. At this time, an army of nearly 100 pirates was getting off the ship in a menacing manner. I thought it would be easy to deal with Crow this time, but I didn't expect you guys to come anyway. When Sam saw Kang looking down, he licked his lips, the cat's claws glowed with cold light, and he approached at high speed to launch a sneak attack. You got it, you idiot. The moment the cat's claws scratched. Bang. A piece of wood remained in place. Nani, where are the people? Chapter 19 V's Black Cat Pirates. Charge the duck. Steal all this village. I want a woman. I haven't touched a woman for a long time. When the pirates were rushing down the steep slope, Kang's figure suddenly appeared on the hillside. The fastest pirate was stunned. Hey, where did this guy come from? He just blinked. Why was there an extra person? Kang calmly put down the fish bucket and formed seals at high speed. Fire-style Phoenix Sage Fire Jutsu. Kang spit out fireballs one after another, and the fireballs bloomed like the fruits of impatience. Hide quickly. This is the enemy. He can actually breathe fire. Ah, water. Give me water. Ah, my face. The pirates at the front were bombarded by fireballs. Each fireball seemed to have eyes. No matter how the pirates tried to dodge, they all hit perfectly. For a moment, the pirates rolled back and crawled back, and people kept jumping into the sea because of the fire. Phoenix Sage Fire Jutsu is one of the fire-based ninjutsu commonly used by Uchiha Itachi. The trajectory of the fireball can be manipulated using chakra. However, manipulating so many fireballs to attack the enemy still requires a lot of chakra and analytical skills. Kang blew out a burst of black smoke, and this blow stopped a wave of charges. I promised Usopp to help him solve the problem. You guys came at the wrong time. The pirates were sweating profusely and were shocked by Kang's strange abilities. Don't pirates use knives and guns? Is this cheating? Fire god Gatling has been invited out. At this time, Django stood up from behind. He roared. If this continues, Captain Crow may be angry. Upon hearing Crow's name, all the pirates couldn't help but tremble. Rush over. Someone shouted something, and the remaining pirates swarmed forward. Kang sighed and closed his eyes. It seemed that his intimidation was not as strong as Clue's. Die. A pirate raised a scimitar and launched a sneak attack while Kang closed his eyes. Sharingan. When Kang's eyes reopened, they had turned into blood-red double Magatama Sharingan. At the moment Sharingan was activated, the ability of the inside eye was activated, and he captured the details of the pirate's movements vividly. He used this extraordinary insight to break the pirate's wrist and snatch the scimitar from his hand. With a backhand knife, he stabbed directly into the neck of a pirate. He jumped and came to the cliff, forming seals with his hands. The art of Shadow Clone. Bang. Shadow Clone technique. My setting. Once the clone is created, the chakra limit of the main body will be temporarily reduced to 50%. This state will last until the clone disappears. If the clone disappears if the distance is close, the chakra of the main body, etc. Energy will be slightly replenished. If you don't have teammates, make them yourself. What's going on? Am I dazzled? Why are there two enemies? Captain Django, are you hypnosis us? Just when the pirates were in chaos, Kang times 2 ducked into the crowd. Combined with the basic ninjutsu and Sharingan, Kang times 2 is like a wolf entering a sheep's mouth. The scimitar in his hand draws sharp trajectories in the air, turning into countless deadly sword shadows. The pirates were horrified. They had never seen such sharp and strange sword skills, and they could only instinctively wave their weapons to resist, but in the face of Kang's agile figure, these resistances seemed so weak. As the swords flashed and wails spread, the pirates fell down like chopping melons and vegetables. None of the pirates who were shot in the heart, had their necks cut, or were killed by physical skills survived. Unlike Zoro, a flashy poet, Kang showed ninja killing skills, simple and crude, killing with one blow. As more and more pirates came up, Kang times 2 stepped back and quickly formed seals. One left and one right activated their respective ninjutsu. Fire style Great Fireball technique. Wind escape Great Breakthrough. The wind assists the fire, and the two ninjutsu echo each other, creating a power no less than Great Fire Destruction. Seeing this, Django looked shocked. This is impossible to defeat. He knew the consequences if Kang was not stopped immediately. Damn it, Butch, where is your brother? If this continues, we will be doomed. Captain Crow will kill us. Butch is the fat man of the cat brothers, known as the leopard cat. His body of fat gives him a strong ability to fight against attacks. The combination of him and the Siamese cat Sam is the strongest. I'm here, Captain Django. This man is too weird, what should we do? Sam's forehead was dripping with sweat. Just now, he wanted to snatch Kang's treasure, but now he is scared just thinking about it. You can only use that trick, look at me. Django took out the hypnosis ring and pressed the hat. You feel no pain, your strength is devastating, and your speed is as fast as lightning. 1, 2, thumbs up. Oh, damn. Django was blown away by the momentum of the two men. Roar. The Catman brothers rolled their eyes and roared like beasts. They fell into deep hypnosis at this time, stimulating the body's potential, but the price was lifespan. The Cat brothers pounced on Kang X2, one on the left and the other on the right. Sam's speed was so fast that he was already close to Kang's shadow clone. What a speed. The clone Kang Sharingan swayed from side to side, and he could see Sam's movements clearly, but in successive battles, the body composed of chakra could not keep up. Sam continuously tore his claws at the clone Kang, and the clone Kang slashed Sam's neck with a knife, preparing to take his life for his life. Bah, bang. In just 1 second, Shadow Clone was caught and exploded, and Sam's neck was bleeding, but he didn't react. Hypnosis. The information sent back by Shadow Clone made Kang instantly understand the cause and effect. He didn't dare to directly receive the powerful Buji's attack and quickly formed a seal. Replacement technique. The moment the attack fell, Kang used a pirate to change his position, and teleported to the hillside, panting. Using Sharingan's Hypnosis Eye ability can cover Django's hypnosis, but what about the other one? Kang fell into thought. Hey, you seem to be in trouble. At this time, a voice sounded from behind him. Hearing this, Kang smiled. The only ones who can appear behind him without alerting the ninja are his most trusted teammates. And the only one who appears here at this time is Zoro, who went to the village to drink. Fortunately, you got lost here. These guys are in some trouble. Zoro blushed and said, "A-hole. How could I have lost my way? I just felt the call of the battlefield." Ah, yes, yes. Kang showed an expression that said you were right. A-hole. Fishing guy. Do you want to fight? Zoro pulled out his knife and wanted to kill Kong. Stop making trouble. Leave the thin one to me. Leave the fat one to you. Their strength cannot be underestimated. Now that Kong said this, Zoro also became serious. I'll try it first. Zoro took a deep breath and rushed out in an instant to face the fastest Sam. Idiot. You don't believe me. Sharingan stared at Sam, his eyes moving rapidly. Santo Ryu Tora hunting. Sam stepped on the back of Zoro's knife and jumped up, easily coming behind him. So fast. Zoro was sweating. Don't be distracted. Pay attention to the front. Magical Shao Hang technique. Zoro heard Kang's words and stopped caring about Sam. He clasped his three swords together and blocked Buji's fat claws. Boom. Zoro's gums are bleeding from biting them. The ground beneath him collapsed, and he was forced down a notch. What the hell kind of power is this? Are you a human? Chapter 20 Dragon Flames Technique, Dark Crow's Meritorious Service. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. After performing genjutsu, Kong successfully immobilized Sam, one of the cat brothers. The fat cat Butuji was quickly restrained by Zoro. As Sam woke up from hypnosis, accompanied by bursts of screaming, his sanity gradually returned, but he fell into another hypnosis, and his body was unable to move. Kang's right hand shook slightly, and a fishing line sprang out from the cuff, wrapping tightly around Sam's body like a maggot attached to the bone. As the line tightened, Sam was tied firmly. You actually know how to do hypnosis. Huh, what is this? The bound Siamese cat Sam tried hard to break free, but the fishing line did not move at all, and he felt a strong uneasy feeling in his heart. Don't waste your efforts. You can't break free from this fishing line. Your fate has been anchored since you interrupted my fishing. Fire-style dragon flame technique. After forming the seal, the flames spewed out by Kong passed at high speed on the fishing line, like fireworks lighting the fuse, and shot towards Sam in the blink of an eye. No. Not good. The Siamese cat Sam kept struggling. Although he didn't know what was going on, he also knew that the flames could not be hit. Pity. The flames reflected his pupils, and there was despair on his face. As the fire burned his body, Sam, who was trapped in a dumpling, was swept away by the flames, and his body exploded violently. Boom. Strong winds swept through, smoke and dust were everywhere, and earth and rocks were flying. This power is terrifying. Kong gasped and declared the winner. If you violate the taboo of the fishing guy, this is the consequences. Remember not to disturb the fishing guy in your next life. After killing Sam, Kong felt relieved physically and mentally. Django couldn't help but sweat broke out on his forehead when he saw that Sam in the hypnosis state was defeated. He looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. He lowered the brim of his hat and shouted, "Everyone who hasn't fallen yet, come here." A group of pirates who survived heard Zango's order and began to gather. You are not injured. You are powerful. 1, 2, thumbs up. Ah, roar. Captain Zango, I feel the power. Kill them all. Charge the duck. The entire Black Cat Pirates group let out an inhuman roar as if they had been beaten to death. These roars attracted Kang's attention. Resurrected with full health. Are you cheating? Isn't the effect of this hypnosis a bit abnormal? Can it also be a group buff? Isn't this a nerf? Kong was unable to complain in his heart. While resting, he extracted chakra. After finally getting rid of most of the pirates, here comes another batch of strengthened ones. Now we can only let Suo-da carry it for a while. Must kill. Fire oil star. Just as Kong was about to withdraw, a determined voice sounded, followed by several oil barrels rolling down the hillside. The timid Usopp arrived late. Because he went to prepare props. Time was too tight, so I only thought of this method in a hurry. As the oil drum rolled down, the only ramp into the village was coated with slippery tongue oil, causing a group of fast pirates to stumble. Well done, Usopp. Kong praised, this product came in time. A-hole, Usopp, what are you doing? Zoro roared. He and his catman brother Butch were in a fierce battle, but their enthusiasm was dampened by Usopp's barrel of oil. Obviously he is about to start, reciting poetry. With chakra attached to the soles of Kang's feet, he ran a few steps quickly and used a teleportation technique to save Zoro from fire and water. Damn it. Charge me. You have to rush over even if you step on the corpses of your teammates. Think of the horror of Captain Crow. Zango has gone crazy. Something unexpected happened again. He suspected that Crow wanted to kill him. Kong took Zoro with a few flashes and came to Usopp, who was pale but had firm eyes. The 8 pirate immortals below are crossing the sea, each showing their magical powers, either using corpses to build bridges or using earth and rocks to pave the way. Usopp said loudly, I will never allow you to attack the village I protect. As he spoke, he raised his slingshot. At this moment, the ramp covered with tongue oil will turn into a sea of fire with just a spark. Must kill gunpowder star. As Usopp detonated, the raging fire instantly ignited the tongue oil, forming a wall of fire that continued to burn. Kong saw the pirate stepping on the body and gaps, charging into the sea of fire without thinking, and his fearless appearance made him swallow a gulp of saliva. He formed a seal with his hands and slapped the ground. Necromanticism Dark Crow. Dumb. Kong stopped the Dark Crow running towards his head and held it in his arms for a while. He was racking his brains to recall the Pokémon skills that could cope with the situation. Kong grabbed a handful of hair. My hair has been falling out a lot lately. Shi Kong sighed and asked. Dark Crow, is there any illusion or night curse? Dumb. There is a high probability that this cry will not. Dark Crow, will, Black Mist, do it. The, Black Mist, skill is different from the ordinary, smoke, skill. Smoke, can only produce thick smoke to confuse opponents and reduce their hit rate, while, Black Mist, is special and can eliminate various skill effects on the field, including buff effects, smoke, etc. Shi Kong thinks this skill may be useful for hypnosis. Dumb. The Dark Crow barked twice. There's drama. Change the field behind the wall of fire. Use Black Mist. Following the trainer's command, the Dark Crow continued to spray thin black mist from its mouth. The black mist gathered into a ball behind the fire wall and stopped spreading. It was at peace with the fire wall. Every pirate who crossed the sea of fire, after passing through the black mist, his original fierce appearance immediately collapsed in an instant, and became staggering, as if he had been drained, just like the people who stepped into the company at work on Monday. Roar no Zoro, are you scared? I'm going to tear you apart. Leopard cats are invincible. Hey, why am I here? The fat face of the Catman brother Butch, who had just passed through the sea of fire, was distorted. Ah, it hurts. It's so hot. My hands. My body. Give me water. Zhangao UB ******** D. Zhangao was stunned in front of the sea of fire. What happened before? Why are you scolding me? And Zoro's face was gloomy. He had been fighting with such an idiot for a long time just now, and he didn't even bother to read a poem. 3 swordsman style. Demon Slayer. 3 cold rays of light flashed through, and Bug fell to the ground and fainted. It hurts. Captain Django. Hypnosis seems to have failed. A pirate confidant said anxiously to Django. At this time, Zhangao came belatedly surrounded by people. He stepped on the fleshy Buthy, who seemed to be unconscious, and looked at the 3 of them with a fierce look. There is only one thought. It's over. The human shield is gone. Thinking of Crow's silent killing technique, Zhangao couldn't help but grit his teeth. He lowered his hat, ignored the oil and fire on his body, and rushed over with a small fist. Zhangao was prepared to die. Being defeated here is better than being hacked to death by the boss's claws. I will fight with you. 1, 2. But before he finished speaking, the hypnosis ring in Zhangao's hand fell to the ground, and his eyes almost popped out. Because the picture in front of me is too terrifying. KKKKKLO boss. The invincible Captain Crow, who he thought was invincible, actually flew over backwards, followed by a monster wearing a straw hat, firm eyes, and extremely long arms. I said, I promised Usopp, no one can take this town away. Rubber Senju. Chapter 21 The Art of Assassination. Secure Asset Portal, your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. I'm going. Did you get here? Don't just end up here. Chicken Murphy Inn. Crow was knocked down from a high place by Luffy and hit the ground on the slope. Shi Kong and the 3 of them scattered. Luffy's subsequent rubber fists were like a violent storm. Suddenly the rocks collapsed, smoke and dust were everywhere, and the terrain was severely damaged. According to the law of smoke without injury, Crow can definitely still get up. Damn idiot Luffy. Get away. Zoro, I leave this to you. I need to add something. Shi Kong picked up the fish bucket and ran away. He has no chakra left at all. If Crow comes with some infinite shaving spoon, he won't be able to bear it. Crow's speed is much faster than that of Skinny Sam. Without Sharingan, he would not be able to escape. You are too short-lived. Leave it to me. Zoro didn't look back, made an okay gesture, and took the opportunity to complain. Shi Kong. This. When Usopp saw Shi Kong running away, he hesitated. Zoro, I leave this to you. Captain Ben Usopp is going to prepare some props. Go away. Zoro waved his hand like a fly. Usopp turned around, bringing up a cloud of smoke. Shi Kong watched Usopp catch up with him at a shocking speed, and fell into deep thought for a long time. The secret base of the Usopp pirates. Shi Kong dodged and fell into the hole under the tree, formed a seal in his hand and began to extract chakra. Nami asked anxiously, Hey, Shi Kong, how is the battle going? It's not a big problem. Crow is seriously injured, the Black Cat pirates are on the verge of being wiped out, and now Zoro and Luffy are finishing the fight, Shi Kong said. He looked around and found that one person was missing. By the way, where's Usopp? He should be faster than me. I'm here. Who set the trap? I saw Usopp coming with a bruised nose and a swollen face, with bruises all over his body. Shi Kong almost burst out laughing. Fortunately, this guy ran fast. Is this you, Onion? It's so abominable, you even didn't notify me when you set up a trap. Of course this is for Miss Kaya. And Miss Nami, Onion explained. Usopp seemed to be seriously injured, but in fact these were just skin injuries, just children's pranks, but the pranks in this world are a little rougher. Usopp, are you okay? Kaya anxiously checked Usopp's injuries and bandaged them considerately. As a wave of dog food was spread, Shi Kong and Nami were full. Can Luffy really defeat Crow? That's a big pirate worth 17 million. Nami had some worries in her heart, but also some expectations. Shi Kong affirmed. It must be possible. Luffy wants to be One Piece. How can he stop here? Nami suddenly became angry for some reason. You really believe in him? I don't know where the courage comes from. A bunch of hopeless guys. Kang stopped talking. It didn't make sense for the woman at this time. After all, there were always 2 or 3 days every month. Shortly after, are Luffy and Zoro idiots? Kang suddenly felt that the sensory ninjutsu was triggered. Shish, be quiet, Kang immediately warned, and Nami and Usopp immediately covered their mouths. Nami's eyes seemed to be saying, didn't I just say it was solved? How could this happen? At this time, outside, Django took a few confidants to search everywhere. Somehow they broke through Luffy and Zoro's defenses. Little darlings, where are you? Come out, I know you are here. After searching back and forth and finding nothing, Django kicked the pirate henchman next to him in dissatisfaction. Hey, Mondog, are you sure they are here? Woof woof woof. Mondog's behavior now is very strange, rolling his eyes, sticking out his tongue, looking like a dog. Almost forgot. Django lowered his body, lowered his hat, and waved the hypnosis ring. You can speak human language, you can speak human language, 1, 2, thumbs up. After a while, Mondog organized his words. Captain Django, woof. If my nose smells right, the eldest lady must be here. Woof. Unless Captain Crow gave me wrong clothes last time. Woof. Django thought for a while and ordered. Spread out a little bit and speak out immediately if something happens. They must be hiding somewhere. Yes, Captain Django. Woof woof woof. Kang was shocked. Isn't Zango's hypnosis spell too powerful? Is this TMD okay too? Hypnosis people directly into dogs. Isn't this guy the owner of the hypnosis fruit? Kang couldn't help but feel a little worried. His Sharingan didn't seem to have this ability, right? This ability is so buggy. What is the use of these eyes? So what about this genjutsu? At this time, Nami next to her looked at Kang, interrupting Kang's self-pity. Her eyes seemed to say, what should I do? Kang waved his hand to reassure him that his chakra had recovered to 1/3, which was enough for him to assassinate. Ninjas don't just fight head-on. This time, I won't give you a chance to use hypnosis. At this time, Mondog was sniffing at a stone angrily, and he was very confused. Woof. How come there is the smell of that eldest lady here? It's really strange. Woof. No matter what, let's pee first and mark it. Tell the captain to go. Just as he lifted his leg, he noticed that the stone was trembling. Yes. That's right, it was trembling. Bang. A burst of smoke. A sharp blade flashed and his little brother was gone. Just as he was about to scream, he met a pair of red eyes. Then there is no more. Solve it. Don't come out. The scene changes. Dumb. A strange crow flew across the sky. Hey, isn't this the magician's pet? The pirate looked up at the sky, a little confused. Poof. 1 second the pirate was looking at the sky, and the next second he saw a dark figure holding a thin string and holding down a headless corpse. His last consciousness was, this is my body. Another scene. Hey, Finch, what's wrong with you? A pirate asked with some confusion when he saw his teammates squatting on the ground. Farron, there is a tree hole here, should we go in and take a look? The pirate named Fallon squatted down and looked at the hole less than 10 centimeters, and his mouth twitched. Are you stupid? Suddenly his mouth was covered. He looked at the boss with Finch's eyes widening, and saw clearly the true face of Finch. Some people can actually become one of their own. Then there was a puff, and his throat was cut. Where are the people? Django looked at the dark jungle and felt very strange. Everyone gather. No one responded. At this moment, Django suddenly felt a chill running down his spine. Why was the forest that was so popular just now suddenly so quiet? Mondog, Fallon, Finch. Django was called one by one. Betty. When Django called out to Betty, there was finally a response. Hey, Captain Django, what's wrong? Seeing his confidant appear, Django breathed a sigh of relief and asked. What about the rest? Didn't everyone search separately? I haven't found anything strange yet. Django looked around again and said nonsense. There's something weird about this forest. After hearing this, Betty was sweating all over and shaking uncontrollably. What's wrong? Captain Django, don't scare me. Is there a ghost here? At this time, Betty saw a horrifying scene. Captain Django, watch your back. At this time, Kang suddenly appeared behind Django and was about to cut him off with a single blow. Django seemed to be aware of it, and there were 2 flywheels in his body. A flywheel bounced off the scimitar, and another flywheel accurately passed through Kang's neck. Dumb. This Kang suddenly turned into a dark crow covered in smoke. What happened? Django was sweating all over. He couldn't help but tremble. Sorry, this is a clone. A cold voice came from behind. Betty was surprisingly transformed by Kang using the transformation technique. Chapter 22 After the Great War. You said you are not a devil fruit user. Dumb. At this time, Kang was surrounded by fruits, forming a symbol of 666. He held a dagger in his hand and looked like a devil. Nami also looked like a devil. Next to him, Jango was beaten into panda eyes and his glasses were broken, revealing his heart-shaped eyes. Like high open Shikai interpretation. Before I became a pirate, I was a wandering dancer. Because I couldn't become famous, I often slept. That day, I slept on the grass for too long, and striped fungus mushrooms grew on my chin. I was so hungry that I ate the fungus heads, and then my eyes became like this, and I also got hypnosis. Ability. Kong was speechless. Is this okay? Isn't it the devil fruit that gives others this kind of magical power? Mushrooms are also okay. Kong and Nami's faces were gloomy. The shape of money in Nami's eyes turned black. Kong, let's kill him. Usopp and the three little ones hugged each other and shivered. Kill as you say, is this a pirate? Zhangao also broke out in a cold sweat. Masters, don't kill me, I really am not a devil fruit user. You can throw me into the sea and I will swim for you. Zhangao racked his brains for his own life. Knowing that these pirates loved money, he immediately said. My bounty is as high as 9 million Baileys. If I die, the bounty will only be 2.7 million. After all, Marine wants a public execution. Isn't 9 million too little? It's not enough to buy a life. Kong said. Zhangao gritted his teeth. Also, I will give you all the treasures I have gained over the years. There are more than 10 million Baileys. Before Kong could say anything, Nami said first. Make a deal. Let's go. Kong, let's go together. First, we'll get the treasure on his ship, and by the way, we'll see if Luffy and the others are done. Nami's desire for money defeated her fear at this time, and she insisted on dragging Kong to the main battlefield. I am coming too. Usopp didn't know where the courage came from. Seeing that Kong and Nami were about to take action, he also stood up. Kaya, you go home first. My friends need me. Kaya nodded. Although she was also worried about Usopp, she didn't stop him. Usopp, be careful, I'll wait for you to come back and tell pirate stories. Usopp nodded solemnly and said to the three little ones. Usopp pirates, you escort Kaya home, can you do it? Yes, Captain, ×3. Kong couldn't bear to eat dog food anymore, so he went out to clean up the impurities on the road first, so as not to scare the children. North Shoreline. The environment here was destroyed in a mess, and Zoro was sitting there in confusion with Luffy on his back. It doesn't matter if I go or not, I am caught in a tangle. Not far away from him lay a large group of people lying in random directions. Among them, the fat man Buggy, the Catman brother, was covered with stab wounds. This time, he seemed to be dead. And Crow was lying on the ground, his lens was shattered, and his whole body had comminuted fractures. Seeing Kong coming, Zoro stood up and said, You came just in time. I still want to find you. What happened? Kong asked hurriedly. Zoro pointed at Zhangao who was tied up by Kong and said. There was an accident. When this hypnosis master used hypnosis on the fat cat, Luffy, an idiot, was also hit. In general, Luffy should be fine. He just got slashed a few times by Crow. He's still angry, so just drink some wine and he'll be fine. When Kong heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Zoro said it was okay and the problem shouldn't be big. Usopp on the side opened his mouth in surprise. Drink. You can recover from such a serious injury by drinking. Is this a powerful warrior on the sea? Zoro pointed at the pirate who was still alive on the ground. If we don't talk about this anymore, what are we going to do with these guys? And Nami looked at this mess and turned into a money addict. Zoro, aren't you very good at packing? Give Luffy to Usopp first, and let's start working. Zoro said without looking back. I'm not interested, I'm very tired. I'll cover the drinks tonight. Nami said. Zoro, who had just taken a few steps, walked backwards. And you, Kong, can you go fishing later? Take Django to get the treasure. Kong was about to say that he would not go without benefits. Nami spoke faster. Your pocket money is doubled. The loan interest is lower. Villa Kaya. Zoro was left to watch the boat while the others returned to the villa in great force. Upon entering the villa, Usopp. Kaya immediately hugged Usopp. Woo, Meili is injured. I have bandaged it urgently. I don't know if Meili can survive. If Meili is gone, I don't know how to survive. Quote. Usopp saw this and racked his brains. Kaya, actually, Meili is the star spirit of Ares. He will definitely be fine. Usopp, who usually lies, can't comfort people, so he can only hug Kaya tightly and brag. Meat. At this time, Luffy's murmuring in a coma broke the dog food link, and Kong and Nami breathed a sigh of relief. After feasting for a while, Kong fell into a long silence as he looked at Luffy who was eating and drinking in a sleepwalking state. How is this done? Mr. Luffy's physique is really special. Ha. Kaya showed a strange smile. Nami put down the tableware, looked at Kong who was deep in thought, and asked. How to collect Crow's bounty? Do you still have to go to Blackheart's 153 branch? Kong came back to his senses. I have cooperated with Lieutenant Colonel Ripa. I don't know about other marine branches. I went there to sell them to help Kirby. He is a friend of Luffy and I. He is a marine. Kong paused, thought of something, looked at Kaya and said. After Crow is sold, how are you going to resolve the matter of Butler Krabaddle? As far as I know, he has a good relationship with the village. Kaya is a little depressed. Should Krabaddle be handed over to Marine? That might be a good choice. She looked at Usopp again. Usopp, do you think I should tell them the truth? Usopp was silent for a rare moment before speaking. The pirates are coming. It's just my wishful thinking and deception. Krabaddle just resigned and went back to the countryside, ha ha ha. Kaya looked at Usopp and smiled. Maybe, this is a good lie. You are really kind, Usopp. She remembered the story Mary told her, which happened when Usopp was a child. When Usopp was very young, his father, a pirate, went to sea and did not come back until his mother passed away. When his mother was dying, he lied and said, "Pirates are coming," in order to keep her going. But the mother eventually passed away, and from then on, the village could hear Usopp's, "The pirates are coming," every day. This has become daily life in Zailuobu village. Usopp is actually a very gentle guy. Maybe they wouldn't be used to it if they didn't hear Usopp's lies that day. Kaya looked at Usopp and unconsciously showed another silly smile. Dumb. Sorry. I'm full. I'm going fishing. Chi Kong threw down the plate and disappeared in an instant. Neither Chi Kong nor Dark Crow can eat this dog food. Hey, Chi Kong. Wait for me. I have something to tell you. When Nami saw Chi Kong disappear, she also rushed out. The atmosphere here is so weird. Chapter 23 Crow vomited. Shields Town, Branch 153. Hello, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Reaper. The phone bug transformed into a handsome boy who looked like a ninja. Hey, I am the bounty hunter, Cool D. Chi Kong. I am here to capture everyone from the Black Cat Pirates, Beiji Crow, Hypnosis Master Django. What? You found Beiji Crow? The Lieutenant Colonel seemed to be in disbelief. Yes, it will be handed over in 2 days. There are still a few heads that should be worth a lot of money. That's it, we have set off and died. The stunned Lieutenant Colonel had not yet reacted. At this time, the phone bug turned into a female with orange hair and a sharp-toothed mouth. Prepare the money for me. Don't miss a penny of the bounty. Otherwise, your feng shui fish will be gone. Perhaps influenced by Nami's momentum, the Lieutenant Colonel instinctively said, yes. 2 days later, the town of Shirez was offshore. The Black Cat Pirates vehicle, the Hyakuji Braku. Are we just going to abandon Captain Lu? Chi Kong had a headache. Although the pirate group had not yet been established, he always felt that this was not good. I've already made an agreement with Luffy, don't worry. I'm talking about Kaya choosing a ship for Luffy. He will definitely be very happy when he wakes up. When Nami saw how seriously injured Luffy was, she immediately gave up on Luffy. By the way, why do I have to come too? The one who spoke was Zoro, who was drinking heavily. There was already a sea of wine around him. Chi Kong said that he might not be able to suppress Crow, so he has to rely on you, the future great swordsman. Nami gave him a flattery, and then turned into fangs. Besides, the drinks are free, what else do you want? Chi Kong looked at the nearby islands and put away his fishing rod. I'm going to get psychological counseling so that I don't get into trouble. In the cabin, Chi Kong transformed into Arvida and was doing psychological counseling. Devil, you are the devil, I don't want to be a pirate anymore. Please. Captain Crow's terror is not as good as your precautions. I'm sorry, Captain Zhangao. I'm sorry, Captain Crow, I'll be a pirate again in my next life. Black Cat's living brothers were hanging with only one breath, and some even vomited blood and died. Albalua winked at the silent Crow and whispered, Captain Crow, tell me, who is the most beautiful woman on this sea? Crow lowered his head and ignored it. Seeing that Crow didn't reply, Albero lifted Crow's chin. This girl just likes this kind of handsome and sultry little guy. He's so charming. Let's create a pirate husband and wife team. Crow's broken lenses still reflected light unscientifically, making it difficult to see his expression clearly. He spoke slowly, as if he was telling. The peaceful life has been broken by you. The small town that made me feel peaceful is gone. When I first came here, I could hear Usopp shouting that pirates are coming every day. Every time I heard it, I felt a little stressed. Gradually, I got used to this kind of life. I like this small village and the people there, but as a pirate, I have to carefully hide myself in order to blend in with them. If you follow my plan, you will succeed immediately. Because of you, my plan was ruined. I lost my peaceful life. I once again wore the title of pirate. The more Crow spoke, the more excited he became. Albero retorted. You keep saying that you like the town and the people there. Do you know how many people will die after the Black Cat Pirates invade? Crow smiled instead of getting angry. For perfect integration, sacrifice is inevitable. I will still treat other survivors well. He looked up at Albero, full of confusion. I can't understand that you are also pirates. You obviously like money, but you do these meaningless things. Losing to you, it's really a shame for me. After saying that, Crow lowered his head again. Albero twisted his body and kept rubbing against Crow. Although we are pirates, we are different pirates. I am me, different fireworks, ho ho. That's right. Do you want to press F? Crow's veins popped out and he said angrily. You are all a bunch of lunatics. Stay away from me. I will wait there, waiting for you to come in and accompany me. After Crow vented his pent-up anger, he closed his eyes and stopped looking at Chi Kong. In order to maintain his persona, he kept swallowing something. Crow is such a man. You can bear this. Chi Kong admired Crow, opened the cell door and said, okay. Shir's town has arrived. Take the initiative. Brothers, let me go first. The pirate hasn't finished speaking yet. Whoosh. A gust of wind blew by, and it was Crow. He ran to the deck, first vomited violently at the sea, and finally shouted to Marine on the shore while drooling. I am Beiji Crow of the Black Cat Pirates. I surrender. Find someone to save me first. After saying that, he fainted. Captain Crow, what's wrong with you? Devil. This man is a devil. Even Captain Crow can't resist him. Seeing this, Zoro withdrew his knife and Nami withdrew his stick. Albaro also turned back into Kang. Yeah, that's a compliment. Within branch 153. 100 strategies. Crow 17 million, Hypnosis Master, Zhang 7 million. Nami kept checking the bounty, and this harvest could bring in nearly 30 million belly. With Zhango's donation, he made a lot of money this time. Sure enough, the most profitable thing is to eat black people. No wonder Blackbeard likes to do this. There is such a bizarre thing. This Baiji Crow is really a weirdo. The lieutenant colonel listened with some fascination. In this era when entertainment is relatively scarce, listening to stories can still make people unsatisfied. Kang took a sip of tea. This story must be kept confidential. I will only tell you about it if I have a good relationship with you. Hey, you have done such incredible things in just a few days. I wonder what will happen to you after you become pirates. It would be great if you are not pirates. The lieutenant colonel sighed. Kang smiled and said, there is no way. My captain wants to be One Piece, and the younger brother can only follow behind. After hearing this, the lieutenant colonel also laughed and cursed, saying, don't mention this in front of Marine, Cool D Kai Kong, it's hard for me to do that. Then he spoke again. When you carry that flag on your back, it's time for us to meet in arms. It's best not to make it difficult for me. Kang smiled. By the way, I'm going to the headquarters in a few days, and I'll take Koby with me. He's a good prospect, and I can't teach him. Rippa's military exploits are enough. Bringing Koby this time is also a favor to the Straw Hats. Let me also inform the person involved. Kang. Prosperous official career. Lieutenant Colonel. I'd like to lend you some good words. At this time, Nami slammed the table. No, this money is 700 belly less. My ability to count money is correct. Nami's voice revealed full authority. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. I'll call someone to supply you immediately. Please wait a moment. Chapter 24 Leaving Nami without saying goodbye. Secure Asset Portal. Your trusted source for secure and informative digital assets. Register with your real phone number and get bonus just for registering. Try for free. Branch 153, School Field. At this time, Koby was practicing Marine's basic fighting skills. After joining Marine, Koby's body, which had been malnourished for a long time, grew rapidly as if on hormones. Compared with a few months ago, I have grown a lot taller. Koby, a friend is here to see you. The lieutenant colonel of the 153rd branch called out. Except for Koby, the rest of the 153 branch are temporarily visiting the island for training. The lieutenant colonel endured the discomfort and dismissed everyone with another shout. At this time, Koby was very confused. Friend. My friend. At this moment, a fat figure approached. Koby, tell me, who is the most beautiful woman in the world? Hearing this sound, Koby trembled and turned around. He will never forget this sound. A majestic image of an iron rod appeared in front of Koby, which made Koby tremble and instinctively stood at attention and shouted. Of course, the beautiful Arvida. During the 3 years on the Arvida ship, Koby has developed conditioned reflexes. However, Koby, who realized that he had lost his temper, quickly understood the cause and effect. Who else could swagger into the marine base and turn it into his nightmare, except Kang, who considers himself a bounty hunter? Not to mention the obvious black crow on Arida's head. A-hole, Kang. Koby was very happy and quickly greeted her. As for Arida's image, he was already immune. At this time, Arvida was followed by a reluctant three-sword swordsman and an orange-haired girl carrying a suitcase, but Luffy was missing. Dumb. Koby. Long time no see. Zoro greeted casually. Koby, this is Nami, our navigator. Kang introduced Nami and Koby to each other. After the introduction, Koby looked surprised. Have you found the navigator? It's really amazing. After the surprise, he asked his question. But, where is Luffy? Why didn't you see him? That guy recently defeated a very powerful pirate and is currently recovering from his injuries. Kang sighed, then Kaido. We are here to collect the bounty this time. That guy obviously doesn't have a ship or a flag, but he keeps shouting about being One Piece. I can't make it difficult for you, right? Koby looked at Kang who was thinking about himself, and his eyes turned red unconsciously. So, you haven't formed a pirate group yet? Kang nodded. I came here specifically to see you today. I heard that you are going to enter the headquarters. Congratulations. Kang patted Koby again with Arida's big palm and said with a wicked smile. Would you like to have dinner with the beautiful Arvida? Of course, I invite you as a bounty hunter. Albalua winked and said coquettishly. We have to go back tomorrow. After that, our pirate group will be established, and there will be no chance in the future. This image is completely different from the Alita that Koby knows. This is the first time Koby has seen this kind of horror. Kang, you can eat. Can you change back first? Zoro on the side had a gloomy face and had already drawn, Wado Ikimonji. You also want to kill him, right? Koby. Zoro held the knife and had the urge to kill Kang if he didn't obey. Kang had no choice but to lift the transformation technique, and he also found that he was becoming more and more abnormal. Nami on the side is scribbling on the ledger. I don't care about the treat, but you have to spend your own money. With that said, Nami took out a few wads of money and handed them to Kang and Zoro. This is your dividend, 2 million Baileys per person. Okay, I've given you the pocket money. The rest are public funds and will be kept by me for the time being. This, so much, so generous. Kong and Zoro couldn't believe it. They felt that Nami was particularly pleasing to the eye today. Zoro took the money and smiled crookedly. A certain fishing guy asked me to treat you today, right? Then you don't have to spend my wine money. Kong didn't care, stuffed the money into his pocket, pulled Koby and left. Let's go to the old place. Have a good rub and take a look at Leija. In Leija's mother-daughter store. Zoro blushed and chatted with Leija for a while, but was scolded by Kong. As good wine and food were served, everyone had a good meal and a good meal without Luffy, the public enemy. Come, drink. Kong, what did you just say about me? Blow. This was Zoro's provocative voice. Cheers to Koby first. This is the stubbornness of a fisherman. Kong, Zoro, I can only drink juice. Koby was confused. How can a man not drink? Times 2, Zoro and Kong said. Don't embarrass Koby. You be asterisk 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 D. I'll drink with you. This is Nami who is particularly beautiful today. After 3 drinks, Kong and Koby exchanged stories about their recent travels. As for chefs, you might want to go to Balati, the sea restaurant. I heard that it is a very famous sea restaurant in the East China Sea. Koby said. Kong nodded. Yeah, I think so. I mentioned it to Luffy, but I've been busy looking for a boat recently and didn't go there right away. Nami raised her glass and looked at Kong with sadness. Do you think the food I cook is not delicious? These words made Zoro and Kong break out in cold sweat. However, women change their faces very quickly. Nami suddenly changed back to her normal face and said with a smile. Kong, do you want to have a bet with me? Let's see who gets drunk first. How about a bet of 1 million Baileys? Kang's heart tightened, but his drunken mind instinctively told him that Nami was trying to trick him again. He waved his hands wildly, covering his pockets and said. Zoro is obviously better when he drinks. Why are you looking for me? Nami made a cut sound and put down the glass. How long does it take to drink with Zoro? She's not stupid, she can only make money by pinching her weaklings. With no one to drink with her, Nami seemed to be in a bad mood. She suddenly stood up and said. You guys should eat first. While it's still early, I'm going to buy some new clothes for you all. It's really disturbing to see you all in such rags. Nami's words did not attract the attention of Zoro and Kong. At this time, one turned into Arvida and the other turned into Sharktooth. The two were quarreling and drinking. Only Koby stood up and said to Nami. Sister Nami is so gentle. I can feel relieved by leaving these unreliable friends to you. Nami didn't answer. After leaving the restaurant with the suitcase, his mood suddenly became depressed. Don't worry about me, I'm just a little thief cat. Betrayal is rare and common here. You may have misunderstood. Nami tightened her grip on Bailey. This money is enough. Eren, this can all be put to an end. Now with all the money in her hands, in addition to being able to buy Kokoyashi village, she even has extra money to repopulate her hometown. Since it can be solved with money, no one will be hurt. During the days of adventure with the Straw Hats, Nami not only made money, but also felt extremely relaxed and free. She also established a deep bond with this group of unreliable partners. After Nami is ready to end all this, she will rejoin the Straw Hats. She will continue to be a navigator to pay off her debts, and at the same time fulfill her dream, to chart the world's oceans. Without me, they would definitely not be able to go to the Grand Route, right? What a bunch of fools. Nami felt the breeze, stroked the ends of her hair, and murmured. Soon, my friends, when I buy my hometown, I will go back to you. Chapter 25 Nami's Past. The next morning, the sun began to shine. Kong was fishing in the backyard, and the black crow above his head kept dropping lumps of bait. However, a piece of news exploded in Kang's ears like a bolt from the blue. What? Nami left. Kong was shocked and his eyes widened. Leija's mother nervously handed over a note and some clothes. Yes, this is what Miss Nami left for you. Kong was a little confused after reading the note. That idiot actually went back to find Eren. It shouldn't be this time. Kong slapped his thigh. Careless. Butterfly effect. Enough money. Unexpectedly, Nami would return to the village early because of her joining. Nami, why don't you tell me? Luffy will pack Arlong for you in minutes. Kong had a headache. He felt very unhappy when he thought that his hard-earned money would be fed to the dogs. They even defeated Crow. Are they afraid of the dragon pirates? Nami, what are you afraid of? At this time, Zoro and Koby also walked down the stairs. Zoro asked with confusion on his face. What happened? Nami has returned to Koko West Village. Anyway, you can see for yourself. Kokoyashi Village, why does this name sound so familiar? Koby murmured. The two looked at the note, which had Showan's words written on it. I'm going to take care of some personal matters. I'll borrow public funds. If everything goes well, let's take risks together then. Bye, little thieving cat Nami. Hollow bullet hollow down pointing triangle hollow bullet. Zoro frowned and looked at Kong. Hey, Kong, how did you know that Nami returned to his hometown? Kong didn't want to elaborate, just shook his head and asked. The key is what should we do now? Zoro snorted coldly and said angrily. Since she left without saying goodbye and took away our treasure, I'll just chop her up next time we meet. Fortunately, my impression of her is a little better. Is that because she paid generously for drinks? Chi Kong complained. At this moment, Koby suddenly became emotional. Chi Kong, are you sure Nami's hometown is Cocoa West Village? Chi Kong nodded and said. That's right. I want to find Nami back, but I only know the name, not where she is. Chi Kong looked at Zoro and sighed. Neither of them knows how to sail, and Zoro is still a road addict. Zoro showed his fish teeth in dissatisfaction. You be asterisk 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 D fisherman. What do you mean by this expression? Koby suddenly yelled. Stop arguing. Do you know where Kokoyashi village is? Chi Kong turned aside. Of course he knew. Zoro was curious. Isn't it Nami's hometown? What's wrong? Koby explained with a solemn tone and a trembling voice. That's one of the places occupied by the Fishman Aaron, the leader of the dragon pirates under the 7 warlords of the sea Jinbei. There is a place where legal plundering is allowed, and even marine is helpless. 7 warlords of the sea. Zoro heard this name for the first time and looked at Chi Kong. Chi Kong thought briefly. Although it's too early to understand now, but since that's the case, let me tell you. 7 warlords of the sea are legal pirates recognized by the world government. Most Shichibukai members possess catastrophic destructive power, even rivaling that of the nation. It is no exaggeration to say that one man is the enemy of the country. Their mission is to use their own strength to fight against ordinary pirates, so they are generally called the running dogs of the world government by the pirates. While becoming 7 warlords of the sea, the original wanted order will be stopped, and the world government will no longer pursue all the crimes previously committed. So just look at their bounty. Even if Shichibukai members engage in privateering, they will be acquiesced by the world government, but they will have to pay tribute if they are discovered. This is the case for the dragon pirates, who call themselves Jinbei's subordinates. In short, this is a group of legal pirates that even the government needs to cooperate with. Quote. As Chi Kong told it, Zoro was stunned for a while, and he also understood the vastness of this world. Koby bit his lip, his heart filled with anger. Ever since he learned about this, he had once doubted Marine's justice. At this time, Chi Kong looked at Koby and his eyes lit up. By the way, Koby, don't you know some navigation knowledge? Can you take Zoro and I there? I'll sneak Nami back. However, Koby looked embarrassed. I don't know, that place is under the jurisdiction of Branch 16. Marine cannot cross the border to enforce the law, and Koby was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do. What he hated most was this group of pirates, and he was even more ashamed of the legal pirates established by the government. But what can he do? He is just a weak marine. When Koby was in trouble, Zoro pointed his knife at Chi Kong and said angrily. I don't agree. This should be decided by Luffy. That guy Nami betrayed us, so she is a traitor. Chi Kong was unhappy. Nami has her own difficulties. And how could Luffy give up on Nami as a navigator? Zoro shook his head and insisted. I don't know what happened to Nami, but I know that this kind of thing needs to be decided by the captain. Even if Luffy is an idiot, he is still our captain. How to deal with this crew member, we still need to wait for him to speak. With that said, Zoro took off his hood and looked serious. I won't let you go anyway. Unless you want to do it. Chi Kong was so angry with Zoro that his face turned pale. He finally sat down slumped, transformed into Alita, and said angrily. Liu Kai swordsman, I'm so angry. If you don't have money to drink in the future, don't even think about putting it on my account. Seeing this, Zoro said to Koby, Koby, can you arrange a boat to take Chi Kong and I back to Zailuobu village? This time, Koby nodded heavily. I went to the lieutenant colonel to borrow a warship. With Chi Kang's relationship with the lieutenant colonel, I think he will help you. After Koby left, Zoro sat next to Chi Kong with a dark face. Can you change back? I'm afraid I won't be able to help but chop you. Chi Kong stood up with his fat body and pointed at his big belly. Cut me, don't make a sound here. You have the ability to threaten me. You have the ability to chop me. Dumb, 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 dumb. One man and one crow were provoking. This eye-searing operation made Zoro close his eyes. Tell me about Nami. You must know something, otherwise you wouldn't be so nervous. Chi Kong squirmed and finally turned into a sigh. Finally, in order to prevent Nami from giving Zoro a bad impression, he prepared for a showdown with Zoro. I did investigate some things about Nami. I originally wanted Nami to say it herself, but I didn't expect that she actually left. Chi Kong began to tell. Nami's hometown is the village of Cocoa West in the Jumida Islands. It was occupied by the dragon pirates from the Grand Line. He believed that the fish people were a higher race, and they followed the example of the dragon people and despised all living beings. Under their rule, everyone has to pay for their lives. As for the consequences of not being able to pay, Nami's adoptive mother Belmir was the first victim. Aaron discovered Nami's ability to draw sea maps, and threatened the lives of villagers to recruit her as a member of the dragon pirates. He drew a pie for Nami. As long as she collected 100 million belly, she could buy back the village and her own freedom. Quote. Chi Kong paused. In other words, the reason why she is greedy for money is to buy her own village. She left without saying goodbye this time, probably because she had enough money. After saying that, Chi Kong felt that his heart was a little heavy. As Chi Kong told, Zoro fell into deep thought and murmured. Are you as naive as I was back then? You actually believe those disgusting scum? What a clown.